being played at the Golmuri and Baldi Golf Courses live from Jamshedpur. We're here at the final day of this season-ending tournament, and currently leading the proceedings is Chikka Rangappa at 18 under par. This is the big one. The final tournament will decide who will be the number one at the end of the year. And currently in the fray is Manu Gandas, uh, as well as Yuvraj Sandhu and Ajitesh Sandhu. So it'll be an interesting day to see who wins this tournament, as well as who emerges the number one on the Tata Steel PGTI Tour.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chirag Kumar, and welcome to the Tata Steel Tour Championship. Yes, Shaurya, it's been a fantastic week so far. Some low scoring. Chikka Rangappa with
Is very difficult as you get on the final day. You're seeing a lot of players vying for that single spot, and you've seen the likes of Veer Lawat, who's already staked him by shooting 5 under on the front nine, and we know that how devastating he can be with that driver, and that's going to come in handy on Beldy. He would be able to overpower this golf course, especially with the sun out now. The fairway is a little firm. Here is Veer, fantastic flowing swing from.
seems like Veed has made his way onto the back nine, starting his back nine at the Beldy on the 10th hole, playing alongside Akshay Sharma, who's also going along nicely at 3 under par today. Akshay had a tremendous run of form just after the pandemic when the tour restarted. He won a couple of times, just sort of lost his form a little bit coming in, but good to see him playing well and competing again. Just got out early out of that one. Maybe a little quick, unsure, a little tentative there. Just seemed like he'd thinned it a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see where that ball has ended up. Playing alongside these two guys is Shamim Khan, the veteran. He's the number one earner of all time on the PGTI. So it just shows how consistent a player Shamim Khan is. Doesn't leave that top 10. He's very hard for Shamim not to be in the top 10 at any event. He's one of the old timers who still sort of survives amongst all these big hitting guys. You can see he's hitting a rescue while the others were hitting iron. So obviously playing a little long for him, but he's managing really well. Shamim Khan also is 4 under for the day. He's at 15 under par in fourth position. Veer Alawat is second at 16 under par, and Akshay Sharma also 3 under par. So this is definitely the group that's got the lowest scoring for the day going on. We have a look at some of the other scores. Abhinav Lohan has had a good 11 or 12 holes. He's 5 under par. So is Badal Hossain from Bangladesh. Udayan Mane, the Olympian, not having the best of days. He's 5 over par currently. Mukesh Kumar, the veteran, is also 1 under par for the day. And Gaurav Pratap Singh, 3 under par for the day. So that's a good round. And to look at some of our other international players, and Thangaraja is even par for the day at 9 under par at 23rd position. Mithun Pereira is 1 over par at 60th position currently. As we have a look at the legend himself, Jyoti Randhawa, 3 under par for the day after 9 holes. Jyoti. This is at the 11th hole, playing alongside Thangaraja from Sri Lanka. Jyoti Randhawa going along nicely. He's 3 under par for the day after 9 holes and just outside that top 10, currently in 11th spot. So he'd be looking to finish in that top 10. Just another look at Veer Alawat's shot. Yeah, there we go. What a brilliant shot by Veer. That's going to set up a birdie opportunity if that ball stops on the green. Yes, it has. So a great opportunity coming up for Veer to get one shot closer to Chikka Rangappa. Currently 2 shots behind Chikka. Back live now. Gonna get to see the second shot of Ajitesh Sandhu on the 11th hole. Ajitesh playing alongside Angad Chima and Kshitij Naved Kaul. So this is a good young group. Ajitesh always known for the beautiful rhythm and the beautiful positions he gets to in his swing. We'll have a look at it now. It's just fantastic the way he swings the club. Always been such a sweet swinger. I think he got a little bit of a flyer from that left rough. It's always tough to judge with this grass around the fairways when it's a little crap grass and you just don't quite judge how the ball comes off. And Ajitesh got a flyer. He's going to have his work cut out to save par on the second hole. Sorry, my apologies, the 11th hole. Shamim Khan, long range birdie opportunity on the 10th hole at Belly. This hole playing long today. You saw Shamim Khan hitting a rescue club off the tee. So he got a little work left for his par, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with the three on this hole.
Yeah, I do remember this hole being really long, and that's something that we spoke about yesterday. I do remember early in the mornings could sometimes get a 3 iron, otherwise, it used to be a 4 iron, or maybe at best, if you're hitting it really long, a 5 iron.
We with a good look at birdie here. This could be a big bonus shot here for him.
Yeah, especially starting this hole, because you don't really see too many players making birdies, let alone making pars, let alone birdie. This is a hole that players tend to drop shots on, so he could be gaining a shot and a half on the field with this putt. It looks like it's good.
Just short on pace there for Veer Lawat. A good try, but I'm sure he's kicking himself for missing that opportunity.
Contrasting game styles, Shamim Khan and Veer Lawat. The only thing they have in common is that they're playing in the same group, and that's where all the similarity ends. Really good effort by Veer. It looked good halfway through. Just towards the end, trailed off, maybe ran out of steam.
We were talking about this earlier. Tough to go for these kind of putts where you know the ball's just going to run off after the hole. So I think sensible putt, but obviously a very good opportunity on this hole. Not that he's going to be unhappy with the three, but he probably would have been. I mean, it's obvious to say he would have been happier with a birdie, but especially on this hole because this could be a turning point.
Yes, I think he's not going to be too miffed about it. That was a good effort, and that's all like you can do. You hit it to about 15 feet, and I reckon that might be one of the best shots that we see for the entire day.
Yeah, it's tough to get it that close on this hole. Akshay Sharma unfortunately dropping a shot on the 10th hole at Beldy.
So you have a look at the leaders. A replay of Akshay's putt. Seemed like he was a little pensive and looked up a little rather too early, it seemed. That happens if you're a little anxious to hold the putt. You'd end up looking up, and more often than not, you pull it to the left.
Shamim Khan with his attempt to try and save par. Left to right, a little bit downhill.
As we have a look at the scores, we also see the players who started off Beldy. They've had quite a difficult time, to be honest. We've seen very high scoring on towards the lower half of the field on the front nine at Beldy. High over par scores, only a few under par rounds after nine. And I think one of the most notable of that is Yuvraj Sandhu. Yuvraj was currently at 4 under and 2 under on the Belly nine, and is 2 under on the other side as well. So maybe all is still not over yet. He does have 3 holes left, so maybe he can reach that number of about 7 or 8 under par, and a lot would be determined by how Manu is able to navigate this final day. So still, still early days though.
As we speak, Manu's 8 shots ahead of Yuvraj, so and he's already about 12 lakhs ahead, as we saw yesterday. I think the number one spot is a 4-1.
We have to make it interesting, Chirag. But obviously, we know that Manu is going to come up with the goods. He's only going to be thinking of winning the tournament. But kudos to Yuvraj for coming up with this sort of a performance. I think it's been a while now. It's been a few rounds that he wasn't able to really shoot the kind of score that he wanted to.
Yeah, we have the group of Shiv Kapoor, Varun Parekh starting their back nine on the 10th hole at this Beldy golf course. Playing alongside Varun Parekh and Karthik Sharma. Shiv, very unique way of him looking through that Bushnell.
I didn't quite notice that, to be honest.
I always make fun of him for that.
I just missed it, to be honest. I think we'll have to see it again. Maybe that's one of the idiosyncrasies that each player has. Shiv dressed rather soberly on this final day.
He's a couple under par today. I'm sure he's not happy with that at Golmuri. Probably wanted to be at least 4 or 5 under par and make a charge towards winning this tournament, but he's still not out of it. Only 3 shots back, and a lot can happen on this golf course.
Yes, absolutely. We were discussing yesterday that the tournament might go at 25 under par, but that looks a little unlikely at this point in time. Maybe 22 or 21 might be the number, in all honesty. And that also, if Chikarangappa can really keep this on this line, it's very difficult to shoot more than a couple under par on Beldy Golf Course.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough to shoot more than 2 or 3 under par on this golf course. It's not that the birdie opportunities are not there, but most people end up dropping at least a shot or two. So it's tough to keep it going.
There you can see Varun Parekh getting that carbohydrate in, the energy that would be required on this back nine. Varun Parekh currently sitting at 12 under par, so if he has to make something happen, maybe he needs to shoot at least 6 under par on this nine, I feel.
Shiv, always one of those guys who loves to have a laugh with everyone around. Got a great sense of humor and um, fantastic guy to play with, actually. Karthik a bit more sober in terms of making making jokes, but what a good young player he is.
Yes, I really do like the way he plays golf, and especially that ball flight. Although I know that these days it's really important to be able to hit your long irons high, but there's something about a flat ball flight which doesn't get impeded by the wind, and he really has that, especially with his longer irons. Sort of a penetrating flat hitter. He would, if he ever was to win the Order of Merit or just get to the DP World Tour, I reckon he'd be doing well there, especially with the windy conditions.
You can see him visualizing his shot. One of those players who really follows the new style of the golf swing, where he underloads his wrists going to the top of the swing. We see traditional golfers like Jyoti and Shiv. They've got that early wrist cock. He's got a little bit of an underload pattern.
Yes, really not that much play in the wrists either. So I think that actually also takes away the fact that he could probably, what a fantastic golf shot by him. That's more of an accuracy swing. I feel he could get that little bit of hinge and maybe add 5 to 10 yards more on his driving.
Well, he does hit it a long way. I mean, he's sneaky long. He's not that short. So I think yeah, you're right, Shaurya. He could add that little
He doesn't
wrist
have
hinge.
he doesn't have the carry like the rest of the other players. Maybe he has a carry of about 275 yards with a driver, flat hitter, so he's able to get it beyond 300. But I feel that if that is something that he could do, I'm certain that given his physicality, he could definitely carry the ball 285 yards with the driver.
See, as we see the beautiful free-flowing swing of Shiv Kapoor, seems like he's missed a little right by the body language. We will find out in a little while where that ball is gone.
Yeah, seemed like he had missed it to the right.
Varun Parekh hits it a long way. This boy, he's one of those guys who can really get it out there. Um, Almost the same distance as Abhijit Chadda.
Yeah, pretty similar distances that they are able to hit, and he does hit it really high as well. I remember seeing him on the range, and this would be an interesting shot. Maybe going with a 4 iron, maybe a soft cut 4 iron for him. Nothing more than that, I feel. Maybe even a 5 iron. Look at that. That's a sizable hit there. You saw the divot. Normally, you see that's a telling sign. You see, medium hitters don't really take divots on long irons, but longer hitters are able to get divots even with their 4 irons and 3 irons. What a
Yeah,
fantastic shot!
beautiful shot there for Varun, and such an advantage on this hole. If you've got even one club shorter than the other guys playing with you, you can just get it to stop. And we saw Varun uh, getting that ball to stop very quickly.
Now, another thing to note, you would have seen that Varun Parekh's ball maybe stopped within a club length, and you saw Karthik's ball to actually roll up. So that's the difference between a long hitter and maybe a medium hitter and the compression that they generate. Let's have a look at Karthik again.
Yeah, you're right, Shaurya. I noticed that as well, and we'll see this again here in the replay that Karthik's ball actually has a little bit of run on it when it pitches.
I must say that's impeccable camera work, though. Pitched
Yeah,
towards the front edge of the green and rolled maybe all of about 15 yards, but just to perfection. Now you'll see Shiv Kapoor, as we thought, has missed it to the right, and we'll soon find out where that ball ended up. Seems like that in the sand trap.
yeah, just right, right call by us, Shaurya.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you can tell a lot by body English the way that a person's sort of leaning, and you know that if he's leaning to the left, he's probably gone to the right. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. You'll see that the compression that he's able to put on the ball. I mean, it's very ludicrous to be able to stop these kind of long irons on a dime.
Big advantage.
Growing up, I remember seeing maybe only Jyoti Randhawa or maybe a handful of other players were able to have this, ability to stop long irons on a green. I must also really commend the camera work. It has been excellent. Look at that ball. It's like a butterfly with sore legs.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if Shaurya you noticed, but he has this little pause at the top of his swing, and then he just sort of generates that power on the downswing. Where after that pause, he just gives it everything, and he's able to generate that speed. This is what we were talking about earlier. He's got that early wrist hinge, and then there's that pause, and then he can just go at it. Whereas Karthik has a little less of a hinge, a little underload, and he gets that run compared to Varun. Great shot by Shiv. Yes.
Brilliant bunker shot by Shiv. He's always been a very good bunker player. I think Karthik definitely has a lot more in the tank. The way he does swing the club, maybe that's an accuracy swing. He could get about 10 yards more if he was to get a little bit more play in the wrists.
Yeah, I think so. We have a look at Shiv's bunker shot again. Beautiful use of the bounce there, just sliding the club under the ball and coming out high and soft. Even though these greens are hard and they run a lot, he had enough height on that to stop it. Perfect leave, uphill putt from where he is.
Varun Parekh surveying that putt and now ready to hit it. Should break a little bit to his left, ever so slightly. Oh, just about leaving that a little short.
Yeah, that's an opportunity on begging there. It's really a tough hole to make birdie on. Varun and Veer as well. We saw a little while ago who missed that opportunity. I think Karthik is probably the closest shot that we've seen. And we were just talking one group back that we're not going to see a better shot than Veer, and Karthik's actually hit it closer.
Yeah, and even Varun had a brilliant shot. So it shows you that the better the players, they're able to attack even a hole like this. I remember, I think I get a little nostalgic when I talk about yesteryears, but just to draw a comparison between the players of today and maybe how the game has changed over the last 15 years. At that point in time, it would be a good effort to hit this green, make par, and if you hit a good shot, that's just about you take it as an added bonus. But now you see the players actually attacking these sort of flags as well.
Just an update: Chikka Rangappa has birdied the ninth hole at Golmuri and moved to 19 under par, so 3 shots clear of the field. Karthik Sharma, he's lined up for his birdie opportunity here on the first putt on the 10th hole. Misses that as well, and he's given that a little bit of a run now. Sure, it's just gone past the flag. Should not be a problem. Looks these longer on TV than they actually are sometimes.
Yeah, they definitely do look a little difficult on TV, mind you. This one looks like it will break ever so slightly to his right. And the quicker the greens, you sort of need to have that speed perfect as well. I feel on slower greens you can sort of muscle them in, and for me, how to determine if somebody's a great putter is within that range. Within that range, that radius of 5 feet, because that allows a player to be more aggressive on his birdie putts. You see a lot of players really timid on those birdie putts because they're not so sure of the one coming back.
Manu Gandas has made it to the 10th tee here at the Beldi Golf Course. We see Shiv Kapoor. Yeah, perfect putt, perfect speed, perfect line, right in the heart of the hole. Great up and down for Shiv.
It's a brilliant par save by Shiv Kapoor. I think he's one of those players that you can say he has the most well-rounded game, very consistent in all areas of the game. Good ball striker, straight hitter, medium hitter of the driver, but really good with the short game. As we have a look at Karthik, with what appears to be a mere formality, but as you know, it's never too easy in this game. Can always catch you a little unawares. Karthik giving that putt the due respect. I think that's good to see. You often see players get a little casual with these at times. Oh, look
Oh
at
my
that! And
God.
as I said, I didn't want to jinx him, but it wasn't the easiest part because it's taking. And I mean, he took his time. He did everything he could, but that's really going to hurt because he was staring at a birdie and walks away with a four. That's rather disappointing.
Yeah, I think that's just, he hit bus just too hard.
Yeah, and that stroke, to be honest, didn't look that fluid either.
Looked a little jabby.
Yes, exactly, and that's you can tell a lot about a player how he's feeling with the putter, with how comfortable and easy he approaches the entire process. So maybe there is a case that he's not feeling too good from inside that range. You see, Shiv Kapoor, he was very relaxed over that putt.
Generally, a very good putter, Karthik. We spoke about this yesterday. He really putts well. We have a look at Mohammad Azhar, who's currently in second spot, 3 shots behind Chikka Rangappa. This is a great performance by Azhar.
Yes, is this going to come in really handy? This will enable him to move up on that final leaderboard and also on the year-end rankings. Maybe move him towards the top 30, and then that would, I think, ensure him all those big events, even the European, the DP World Tour events as well.
Just missing it in the right bunker, Mohammad Azhar. We just saw Shiv Kapoor making up and down from that same bunker. So let's see if Mohammad Azhar can have the same touch. Manu Gundas now starting his back nine here at the Beldi Golf Course. 9 holes to go before he is crowned as the numero uno on the Tata Steel PGTI Tour 2022.
That's going to be a fantastic moment for Manu, all of 26 years, and that's a worthy achievement. And with all the goodies that come along with it, and that's the biggest point. That exemption on the DP World Tour. Would that kick in from this year itself, or are we looking at next year, or we still don't quite know the specifics?
I'm not quite sure of the specifics, Shaurya.
Well, I hope it comes into play. Really gave that a lash. Not quite sure where that has gone.
Oh, there it is, running just over the green. That should be okay.
Yeah, pretty straightforward chip as far as the angle is concerned. The only thing which would matter is the lie.
Yeah, this hole playing a little different because as from what I remember it, there was no rough behind the green. It just used to keep running, keep running, keep running, and you could actually have a 30, 40 yard shot at times. Coming back onto that green when it used to just keep running. There was no rough earlier. It becomes a little easier because the shot is a little shorter, and somehow hitting a slightly higher shot from the rough is always easier than hitting it off a barren lie.
Absolutely, especially to these greens which do pose as a really small target, and each of them, if anything, they're designed like a turtle's back. So, you could go from one side to the other in the blink of an eye. Let's see what Karandeep is able to do here. We'll have a look at his stance as well. You see that right foot, the way it is, it's almost placed very gingerly on the ground. It's not really extracting all the, they say get the energy from the ground up, but it's a little different to that. He's as a proponent of his own technique. Well, if it works that well, please stick to it, Karandeep. It's a good shot, just about a little too hot.
That's fine though. I mean, it's not in a bad leave, not a bad leave, not in a bad position for him to. It's going to be pretty straightforward up and down from there. He could even. It's like we've been saying. It's really hard to stop the ball on the screen, and we just saw a couple of good shots by Karthik Sharma, Varun Parekh, and Veer Lawar. Other than that, we haven't really seen any good shots. Well, this was a good shot, but just running over the green.
Yeah, this is, I think, on longer shot, medium hitter doesn't quite have that room for error. You saw that his ball really did bound off. It probably pitched towards the center of the green, as we'll have a look. Pitching towards the center of the green, not able to get any purchase of it. That's also owing to the draw ball flight that he tends to favor.
And we just this is the difference that we were talking about. Varun Parekh generating that little extra speed and maybe a slightly shorter iron in than what Karandeep might have hit, and generating that little extra spin where he's able to stop it with a long iron. And Karandeep and Karthik, we saw both their balls release a lot more.
Yeah, that's where that added distance comes in handy. Not that a medium hitter can't do it. I think Karandeep also had a brilliant shot. But the thing is that you come in with a medium flight, you can't quite drop it short of the green. Often you do think that you'll pitch it short and run it up. But the way the golf courses are designed, normally you find it's a strange catch-22 situation. You pitch it on the green, it bounds off, and you pitch it short because the apron and the area around the green is normally rather soft, so ball kind of just stays there.
And if I remember right, they always used to water the front half, just the area of the apron, and they're all a little uphill, so the ball would just pitch short and not go onto the green. Let's have a look here at Angad Chima.
Angachima was really good out of the bunker. I think he's always been very comfortable with the bunker technique. It's the chipping technique that has caused him a bother over the years. That's a decent shot there by Angad, leaving himself about 8 feet short. He would have ideally wanted to do a little better.
Good technique there by Angad. The ball probably just came out a little higher than what he thought it would, and not getting that little extra release. But it's still an uphill putt, very makeable. As we see Kshitij Kaul
Really choking down on that club.
a great shot there by Kshitij. When he hit it, I thought he'd miscued it a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like that because his technique is such that it doesn't quite lend itself well to the short game. Probably that similar length of clubs, he really has to choke down on this one.
Yeah, he plays those one length clubs.
Yeah, so he's probably looking at a length of a 6 iron on a lob pitch. So I don't know how that works, but seems like he's got it perfected to the tee.
Works for him.
Absolutely.
Different technique being employed by Ajitesh Sandhu here.
Yeah, this is rather adventurous, I must say. This I would have thought a lot of other ways to try and hit that shot. To be honest, I think for all his calm and composure, I don't quite see why that shot was required. He could have hit any other club. It makes it so much more difficult.
Yeah, not sure what the lie was, or maybe he just had a bad lie. or maybe he
Variety race.
just
Would you?
felt like being a little adventurous.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because he had that steep embankment and the greens are slick as well. So odd choice to say the least, and not the ideal result either.
Good to see a lot of people out there supporting these golfers and out here to watch the golf. Jamshedpur has always been one of those cities where they come out in large numbers on the last day to watch and support the players, and it's really good to see that. Sorry, I was just talking about this patch behind the first or behind the 10th green. This has always been hard and firm, and the ball runs out into that barren patch that you can see in the background. Used to be really tough, and I think this is a little easier now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely made a lot more manageable. I do remember myself as well. If you hit a high draw and sort of bounce off, you can be facing a 25, 30 yard shot, and then just hoping to hit a good shot to have a chance at par. As we have a look at that really good chip shot by Manu.
Manu has taken full advantage of the rough being there. Yeah, great technique there by Manu. Very still lower body, letting the hands go through. No deceleration at all on that one, and you can see the result is perfect. Manu Gandas has been spending a lot of time in the gym, working out, working on his fitness, working on his muscle mass. He's been gaining a lot of muscle, and he's been focusing really hard on his diet, and the results are showing. I mean, he's just playing so well that everything is coming together for Manu Gandas. Now, this is the sign of a person who's very confident with his short game, electing to chip this and maybe trying to give it a run and hold this shot rather than just putting it and trying to make two putts and walk off with a par. Currently, fantastic with his short game also. Great hands.
Especially given the fact that it is rather closely mown, so you don't have much room for error. Let's see how that works out for him. Really well done, leaving it about 2 feet short. Would have wanted that to be a little closer, but shows you that you this is the shot that I was talking about. This along with that other short lofted lob wedge shot. These are very difficult shots. You see the way he had to sort of hold that club, but while not decelerating. So he did sort of go through it, but had to get it. Had to really lower the speed of the club closer to impact.
With his level of short game, he's probably not happy with that shot, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm certain he's not happy, but it looks like a difficult shot. It had a longer backswing, and I don't know how you describe that. You have to sort of just about try and stop the club head straight after impact, and while at the same time you want to ensure that you don't decelerate and leave the ball there. So not the easiest technique to master, but that's one of the reasons why he's been so good and consistent on tour. Rarely do you ever see him sitting out on a weekend. I don't quite think he's missed a cut. We can have a look at the record as well.
Yeah, you're right, Shorter. He's a very consistent player as well. Mohammad Azhar making bogey again on this first hole. Sorry, my apologies. I always keep calling this the first hole. This is being played as the 10th hole. Um, Making another bogey on this hole. He bogeyed this yesterday as well.
So Karandeep Kocher, as he spoke previously, has only played 8 tournaments thus far, and he's been able to make all the cuts, and because he plays on the Asian Tour as well, so his travels here. So shows me that short game, that strong short game is something that you always require if you have to be around for each and every weekend, which in itself is quite an achievement, I must say. Jamal Hussain as well, making all of the cuts, 15 out of 15. He's somebody who sort of goes under the radar, but he's also has a lot of golfing ability.
Yeah, it's been a good season for Jamal as well. 15 out of 15 cuts and not winning a tournament, but still in the top six. So that says a lot.
Manu Gandas as well. I mean, not only can he shoot low numbers, win tournaments, he has a win percentage of 33% out of 18 tournaments. He's made all cuts, so I think he's rivaling better than that of Tiger Woods.
And 12 top tens as well, sure. So it goes to show how good a season he's had.
Om Prakash Chauhan as well, making all of his cuts and 7 top 10. So some really good performance. is there. Yuvraj Sandhu, 5 wins, making 15 cuts out of 17 tournaments.
Yeah, good save there for Karandeep. Good solid putt. We saw Karthik Sharma missing a similar distance putt, but no problem there for Karandeep Kochar. Good confident stroke. We see the stillness in the lower body, which is a key to good putting. You got to be quite stable in the lower body. Manu Gandas also cleaning up for his par, so no issues for this group except for Mohammad Azhar, who's dropped a shot and now he is in third position.
That was a neatly sewn up par for Managandas. That chip shot is what enabled that stress-free par for this player. So now we have the final leader group waltzing through on the 10th hole.
Kapil Kumar again off to a bad start, but he's made eagle on the ninth hole at Golmuri and recovered a couple of those shots.
Yeah, it's he definitely does have a lot of fight in him. If only he could get off to a better start on the final day, but it is heartening to see that he never quite throws in the towel. Yeah, that a look at that rather unorthodox swing, but works beautifully.
Also missing it in that right bunker. That seems to be a popular spot today, Shaurya.
Yes, that does seem to be the leave that the players would sort of favor. I think is better than missing it on the left side, especially given where the flag pin position is.
Kalyan Joshi also would have liked a better front nine at Golmuri, the scoring nine of these two golf courses. He's only even par through the front nine, so looking not to drop any shots, if not gain any.
Yes, he does have his work cut out. But if there's anyone who can make a bunch of birdies on this nine, it's definitely Kalin Joshi. I think this shot will be pivotal to determine how this round is going to go for him. And this tournament is unique in the way that it's played across two golf courses. It's pretty much like two different tournaments going on at the same time. You play really well on one nine, and then you have that rather considerable travel time of about 25 minutes, and you never quite know how you'll turn up on this golf course. You're not just walking on from the ninth to the 10th tee. You're taking a car ride. The golf course is sort of different. It is rather unique in that way.
Yeah, true. I mean, they do give you a little time to warm up after you come. You given about 10 or 12 minutes or 15 minutes to warm up. Can't remember, but yeah, it doesn't. Now, I like I said yesterday, everybody's kind of used to it. You know what to expect, but the first couple of times you go there, you're a little taken back.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stop and start. I mean, even if you're used to it, it's not natural for a golfer to sort of stop his round, then warm up again. So sometimes you make a birdie, you just want to walk on to the next tee. But that is why they say the professional athlete has to adapt. And talking about an athlete, there's one on our screens right now, Chika Rangappa. He does spend a lot of time in the gym and reaping the rewards for it.
He's currently in complete control of this tournament. He's three shots ahead. That's gone a little bit of adrenaline there. Maybe starting the back
Yeah,
nine.
so, it's surprising that the only golfer that we've seen getting any sort of purchase of this green has been Varun Parekh. So it shows you, and I do recall the time that I saw him hit those long irons. He really does hit that 3 iron high. It's especially off flat turf. I was able to see him hit those 3 irons enormously high and generate a lot of compression. So that is something which I think only he and maybe Abhijit Chadda have in common. Veer Rawat, only a few other players who I can think of can actually stop a 4 or 3 iron like that. As we have a look back at the shots, we should also run through some of the scores and have a look at how the players are doing who are out on the golf course. We have Sanjeev Kumar, who's 5 under today. A fantastic round by Sanjeev. We also have Abhinav Lohan, your friend, 7 under par today. So fantastic comeback. Now he's at 6 under par for the tournament. Then you have Badal Hussain from Bangladesh. He's 5 under par today. Some good scores.
Yeah, Abhinav certainly finding something in the last two rounds. His first two rounds was 74 and 76, and then a 67 yesterday, and he's 7 under par today, and he got three holes left, and that too at Golmuri. So he could equal the lowest round of the tournament, Shaurya, at 10 under par alongside Chikka.
Yeah, pretty much seems primed to do so, and no better place to try and make last few birdies than Golmuri. So he definitely has all the opportunity that he requires. Mukesh Kumar also coming along well, 7 under par. I think he's one of the invitees this week. This would be the first time that he's missed his card. Am I correct? Ever?
In 30 something years, maybe.
Yes, I think this is a new feeling, and but there's a lot of fight still remaining in him. He's 7 under par, so shows you that he still has that quality.
Kapil Kumar just creeping back into that top 10 at 14 under par.
Kapil Kumar with that fantastic eagle on hole number 9, but not the best of shots here now. Should try and make this up and down. You never know. He's 5 shots behind, and he does have 9 holes to play. Doesn't really want to get too far left behind.
As we have a look at Veer Lawat on the 12th hole, the par 5. I'm sure he's here in two. Back to Kapil Kumar. Yeah, well played shot. That's really
a
good.
fantastic shot.
Really, really good.
Unfortunately, not quite going in the hole. It was looking like it was tracking the entire way.
And not sure if you noticed the Shaurya, but he was not standing like he normally would. We'll see that now in the replay. It just looked like he didn't have the best of lies. And look at that abbreviated follow through. So fantastic shot.
Yeah, it looks like he was really using that right hand a lot to extricate that ball out of the bunker. So the lie, especially the way the ball has rolled as well. So maybe he had some sort of a plug lie. You never know with the angle that it came in.
Yeah, to me it looks like he was very close to the edge of the bunker on the right hand side. So didn't really have too much of a stance and not too much of room to go. Picked it up a little steep and just let it go with that right hand. Possibly 1 foot outside the bunker as well.
Either ways, I think he's done well. He had 1 foot in the proverbial grave, and now he's out hale and hearty.
Colin Joshi has a good opportunity for birdie on this hole. This is definitely he's in third place, so he could do with this birdie and get closer to Chikka. Chikka just missing this green over the green. So not I don't think it should be too much of a problem for Chikka to get this ball up and down. But obviously Cullen would be looking to get closer to the lead. Currently 4 shots behind. Pretty good touch there by Chikka. Just leaving himself about 4 or 5 feet downhill left to right. But I don't think it should be too much of a problem. Good leave there. Cullen Joshi getting ready to hit what looks like about a 15-footer for birdie on this hole. Not wasting too much time, Cullen. So he's obviously pretty confident of the line. Taking to his routine of 2 practice swings and setting up. As he hit it, just looked short. Maybe just one roll short of holding that birdie putt. Good opportunity there, gone begging for Cullen Joshi. But like I said, the 3 on this hole is always a good score. We have a look at Chikka lining up his par putt, just surveying it for the time being. And that beautiful 62, 10 under par by Chikka Rangappa yesterday. He was quite a long way off before that. So really taking control of this tournament with that round yesterday. And currently 3 shots clear of Veer Alawat. Should be a little left to right. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is very similar putt to what Karthik Sharma had.
Yeah, it might be from the exact same spot.
Maybe just slightly longer.
Yeah, the Chikarangappa would be hoping that the outcome is not the same. A lot more confident in terms of how he hit that putt.
Middle of the hole, Chikka, very, very good putter.
Angad Chima also 3 under today, so reaching up to 14 under par. So there's quite the group forming at close to the leader, 16, 15, 14. In fact, I think you have a pentuplet of players at 15 under par. So the traffic is definitely increasing towards the top end of the leaderboard. So if Chikka Rangappa does falter, there are going to be a lot of players who will be hot on his heels.
Important putt, this one for Kapil Kumar. He's got to make this, keep the momentum going. Just made a beautiful eagle on the 9th hole. Oh my, he's missed it.
Yeah, somehow the final day is not kind to him.
Just probably didn't break as much as he thought it would. It had good pace on it. Kapil just misreading that putt after that beautiful bunker shot that we saw him hit earlier.
Yeah, rather unfortunate there for Kapil. But let's see how he does on this 9. Maybe at least reach 15, 16 under par. Try and finish in the top 5. That would be an improvement as well. As I say, try till you succeed.
He's unfortunately going to drop back to 13th place now at 13 under par. Mohammad Azhar seems to be in some sort of trouble in this back 9. He bogeyed the 10th hole and he's got his work cut out to make up and down here and make par. But what a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot.
Brilliant technique as well. The way he was able to nip that off the turf and generate that spin. This is a hallmark of a really good short game player. You'll see the best of players, they have this ability to spin the ball at will. If we happen to get a replay of this, it would be really educational.
Manu Vindas, long putt coming up for him on the 11th hole here at the Beldy Golf Course. Karandeep also seems to have a long range birdie opportunity. So currently in tied 3rd position. Manu Gandas also in tied 3rd spot at 15 under par. So Manu not letting go of any opportunity. You see the group of Varun Parekh, Shiv Kapoor and Karthik Sharma on the 12th hole, the par 5. Before that, we see Manu on the 11th hole. Long range birdie opportunity. Oh my God, what a great putt by Manu Gandas. He's really been putting well, giving every putt a chance to go into the hole. Fantastic putting display by Manu Gandas. Before that, now Varun Parekh on the 12th hole. Obviously, got some sort of a bad lie. He's trying to figure out how to play this. Maybe a plug ball. Not quite sure what he was trying to practice with that technique. Yeah, that ball was definitely plugged. He's played it quite well, actually. Good shot from where he was with that lie, and I think he's given himself a fantastic opportunity to make a four. Let's have a look at that again. Yeah, just got really steep into that, just pitching it outside the bunker and letting it run. That ball was definitely plugged. Back live now as we see Karthik Sharma and playing alongside Shiv Kapoor, Varun Parekh. Shiv is at 15 under par, Karthik at 12 under par, and Varun Parekh also at 12 under par. So Karthik and Varun just even par for the day. This is Angre Chima on the 15th tee, 14th tee, beg your pardon, at the Belty Golf Course. Just going with the rescue club. We spoke about that penalty area that comes just right of the fairway and in play. Ajitesh also not going with driver, going with, I think that's his 5 wood. Just a few holes left for these players before they wrap up their season. The Tata Steel Tour Championship 2022. Yeah, just having a look again at Manu Gandas, and I was just talking about how well he's been putting, and you can see that ball just ending up in the heart of the cup. Beautiful pace, perfect putt by Manu Gandas, and this is the 11th hole. What looks like? Oh, my apologies. This is the 13th hole at the Beldi Golf Club, and we see Veer Lawat, Akshay Sharma, and all the entire group has hit it on the green. So no issues for this group so far on this hole. Veer Lawat unable to birdie that 12th hole, which does present itself as an opportunity, as we were saying earlier. But Shamim Khan has birdied and moved into second spot with Veer Lawat, now 3 shots behind Chikka Rangappa. So nobody really making a challenge at the moment. Chikka is comfortably ahead. Just 8 holes to go for Chikka. In the driver's seat at the moment, but stranger things have happened. As We have a look at the spectators in the crowd once again, out here to support all these players who've come from all over India and from neighboring places like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, just out here to enjoy the golf and enjoy the weather. It is perfect weather in Jamshedpur and perfect playing conditions as well. We saw that beautiful shot by Varun Parekh just a little while earlier with that abbreviated sort of golf swing. The ball was plugged, and great opportunity here now. Just leaving that putt short. Varun was on a good line, he was tracking, but just short. Shiv Kapoor has also birdied the 12th hole here. Looks like Kartik Sharma has made an eagle on this 12th hole, and Varun Parekh unable to birdie it. So, little movement here on the leaderboard after this 12th hole. Peter Lawat would not be happy with him not making birdie on the 12th hole. Opportunity that actually presents itself. A bit of a sitter, the 12th hole, so we're obviously disappointed with that. But he's got an opportunity here on the 13th hole. And if he's got any chance of winning this tournament, he needs to start making a few birdies. Oh, yeah, great putt by Veer. That's a super effort. And I think he's not going to be as disappointed now, but still a long way to go. He's a couple of shots behind Chikkarangappa as we stand. Shamim Khan playing alongside him is also 5 under par for the day. Both of them bogey free, so making a good charge.
Yeah, Shamim Khan is really wielding that putter like a weapon, and when he gets hot, he has the ability to shoot very low scores. And this might be the kind of golf course that really suits him because it's not a long golf course. It is an accuracy golf course, and putting is a big part about this.
Veer with that birdie now moving to 17 under par, just a couple of shots behind Chikkarangappa.
Yeah, so we're sort of putting down a marker in front of Chikkarangappa that I'm coming to get you. We saw Shamim taking two clubs towards that tee, so obviously there would be a certain thought as to which approach to take on that hole.
I'm pretty sure he's going to hit his driver.
He's very consistent with his driver, even with that loose, languid swing. You feel that he's one of the players who might have the slowest swing. I feel the way he approaches the long hits, but somehow still able to get, I think, about 250 yards worth of carry and then roll it up to about 275, 280.
Yeah, this golf course definitely an advantage, for him. Not a very long golf course. You can get that little run, and doesn't play as long as some of the other golf courses do for Shamim.
Here, look at Cullen. That ball needs to stop or get in the hole, and unfortunately for Cullen, it's done neither of the two. I thought it shouldn't have rolled that much. He was able to pitch it into the upslope, so rather surprising that it trundled down the way it did.
Yeah, obviously not getting the kind of spin that he thought he would. Seemed like he pitched it in a decent spot, but there was just no grab on that ball. Reed on the 14th tee, just going with a long iron.
This is the ideal scenario as we head into the business end of the biggest tournament, the final tournament of the year, the Tata. This is a big one, the proverbial big one. You're going to decide who is going to be the number one on the order of merit and who's going to walk away with that big prize purse. That's going to be a lot of money. Might need a few helping hands to sort of carry that, metaphorically speaking. But that would be quite something, but quite the trophy to really have on your mantle.
Yeah, for some reason I thought that would happen. Just looking at a part of a chip at the same sort of angle, same sort of distance, and you've seen one guy run it by, and then subconsciously, you always think it's faster than it looks, and you just sort of don't quite hit it. Not that Chika's left it too far short, but just a little shorter than what he would have liked.
Yeah, I think it's a sort of a sensory overload because normally you just go with what you feel, but now you've had an added sort of marker. You are able to see the other player's chip shot, so the mind is not too sure what the actual speed is. So you tend to err on the side of caution.
Kapil Kumar with his birdie putt now on the 11th hole. Kapil, like we spoke, drop a shot on the 10th hole and drop to 13th place now.
Let's see if he can claw one back here. Oh, that's straight off the bat. He knew that wasn't the perfect connection. This is very unique the way this tournament is shaped up, Chirag. We're looking at players from 16 to 14 through 14 under par. You're looking at 11 players who are within two shots of each other. So the tournament is wide open. If Chika Rangappa was to have a little misstep, this could actually go either ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement going on that leaderboard, and um, the 12th hole, like I said, is always an opportunity, and there's a lot of movement with the first hole, the 10th shot on the first hole. There's been no birdie except for Rashid Khan, um, who has birdied the 10th hole here at Beldy. He's 3 under par for his round, currently in 16th position.
Yes, this 10th hole is a difficult hole, but not many drop shots either. There have been bogeys. Maybe the average score is about 3.3. That's what you expect, but I think owing to that lower back collar, the rough being mowed down, that has sort of made the hole a little easier. Otherwise, you could find players almost in the other fairway at times. I remember if you were to catch a hot one off the tee, you would have your work cut out for four as well.
A good save there by Cullen.
Yeah, very timely. So you have a look at the lower end of the leaderboard. Mr. Jeev Milka Singh, the legend, is stitching up a fantastic round. He's 3 under par today. So really turning back the years, finding some form. Now he will be playing Golmuri, so he's already been able to shoot 3 under on the difficult 9. So I'm quite excited. Maybe shoot a 4 or 5 under on that back 9 and finish in style.
Mr. Chari going along on the fairway, and that's never a good sign.
Yes, especially for the group. That's a sign.
This is Steel, and this is an idea. What happens when we join them? Something fantastic. Like Pravesh doors that never age, that save our forests, or customizable artiphone wardrobes that match your personality and are redefining modern homes. Tomorrow is shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
They do understand when maybe the referee only came in for a friendly word. We can only assume.
Well, I think Karandeep hit it really close in 2, and that's an eagle opportunity, and that's probably why he was sort of ambling. He knows he's got enough time to hit that putt.
Fantastic shot by him. You see him repair that pitch mark, so that was indeed his second shot. The players really like to take advantage of this hole.
Yeah, that putt was, if he was to make that, would move him to 16 under par and in second spot.
Chika Rangappa has a lot of pursuers at this point in time, hot on his tail. He'll have to recover that Midas touch that he had yesterday. Today has been rather quiet as compared to yesterday. He's 2 under after 10. Yesterday he was 7 under at this point in time, if I remember correctly. So Needs to make a few birdies.
Manu just short and right of this 12th hole green in two.
I think that's a pretty straightforward chip shot for Manu.
Running nicely toward the hole, leaving himself an uphill opportunity. Maybe a few feet shorter than what he would have liked, but again, it's an uphill putt and shouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah, not his best effort by a country mile. Left it about 10 feet short. I thought that would have rolled a little more. It came out on that ball flight, maybe a little bit of a top spin sort of shot coming out of that rough, but came to a stop rather quickly.
I didn't pitch as far ahead as I thought he would, but again, if you have a choice of leaving it short of the hole on this green or going past the hole, I think you would definitely choose being short of the hole and giving yourself an uphill opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. I think you would always prefer an uphill putt as compared to a downhill putt from any inside 10 feet, that's for sure. We have a look at these players. We also see some of the other scores coming in. Which way do you think this putt is going to break for Kanti?
I think it's right to left.
It sure looks like it.
Yeah, and
ever so slightly though.
And also, I don't think this putt is as fast as people have been thinking it is. We saw Varun Parekh leaving it short as well, very similar putt. I don't remember the other player who left it short, but we saw another player leaving this putt a little short. So I think a pretty straightforward putt for Karandeep.
Let's see if he is able to hold this putt. Rather unfortunate.
Short on pace again there, Shaurya.
Yes, maybe there's something to that's something that ends up flummoxing these players, because it is, they're definitely confused by what the speed is, and they tend to give it a little bit too much respect from that side.
Yeah, maybe just a little grain growing against them, and it looks like a severe downhill, but the grain just kind of putting brakes on that ball. Manu Gandas, about 10 feet left for him up the hill. Should also break from his right.
I would think this is an easier putt as compared to Karandeep's.
Yeah, definitely. See the marker of Mohammad Azhar there. Just behind Manu's left shoe there.
I'll be waiting with bated breath, and we assure you it wasn't our voice that disturbed Manu. That's the thing about golf, is that you can, if there's ambient sound, that is something that doesn't quite ruffle a player's feathers. But if you get that sudden burst of sound or movement or a phone clicking off, that can be rather unnerving for the players.
Yeah, something going on here. Manu just a little upset with what some sound or somebody's talking or some phone going off. He's had to back off it twice, and I don't know how much that'll affect him.
Yeah, that could. You have to sort of go over it again, and oftentimes that can be something that can put you off. But we know that Manu is made of sterner stuff, so let's see if that does indeed go in.
Yeah, nothing usually puts him off.
Yeah. Staying true to form.
Yet again.
Not even the slightest bit of doubt. He's at 16 under par now, only 3 shots behind, so giving Chikarangappa the chase. He's not just content with winning the number 1 ranking. He wants to win the tournament as well. He wants to win it all, and That's the mentality that you gotta have. He really does have a winner's mentality, does Manu.
Yeah, would you still doubt the number one spot, Shaurya?
No, I'm trying to see where Ajitesh Sandhu is. He's at 12 under par, so I think it's pretty much done and dusted. Yuvraj was the only one. Maybe if he had a 13 under par under the belt today, but seeing as it is, I think I think to be honest, I was being a rather specious with that argument that we could have someone else win the order of merit. But yes, that ship has sailed. You are looking at your new numero uno. Only that we have to wait for the crowning. That's all.
Mohammad Azhar also making birdie on this 12th hole. So all three players in this group making birdie and moving up, gaining a shot here.
I was also thinking if Manu is to win this tournament, he'll have a year where he's won 7 out of 19 tournaments. I can't quite recall. Maybe in Mukesh in his heyday might have been able to replicate that sort of stretch. His one win is a career. 7 is just dreamland.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's happened ever on the PGTI before. Maybe on the PGA back in the day, but definitely not happened on the PGTI before. I think 6 is already a record by Manu. So, yeah, well done to Manu Gandas. What a year he's had.
फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट फील अलाइव।
काम घर में कर रहे हो या बाहर या किसी बीमारी से उबर रहे हो, आप बिना जाने डिहाइड्रेट हो सकते हैं। रोज जरूरत है फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट। इसका अनोखा R3 फॉर्मूला इलेक्ट्रोलाइट रिस्टोर करे, ग्लाइकोजन रिप्लेनिश करे और मसल्स का तनाव कम करे तुरंत एनर्जी के साथ।
फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट।
Penalty area today, possibly the hole playing a little downwind.
It's often said in golf that the toughest thing is to back up a brilliant round with another one. And what Manu is doing is he's just reeling off one victory after another. And it's not easy, mind you. The high that normally you would feel would sort of take you off your game for a while. You would sort of celebrate that victory. But for him, there's so many victories. So I guess he would feel that's where his rightful place is on the winner's mantle.
Shiv Kapoor going with seems like a 5 wood. Yeah, beautiful swing, going early to pick up his tee, so no problem there for Shiv. We have Varun Parekh there. The longest hitter in this group for sure. Just going with a long iron, maybe a 3 or 4 iron.
I think for a long hitter, that would be the ideal approach on this hole. Just keep it short of the hazard. Are you telling me that even a player of with Varun's prodigious power won't be able to carry that hazard?
No, I don't think so. You see that little pause again, just at the top of a swing, a little bit of a Hideki Matsuyama sort of pause, just on top.
Yes, but a lot more elegant. His swing is a lot more classical.
Yeah, it's be a good learning experience for Varun to play alongside Shiv. Shiv never shy of sharing knowledge with his peers.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure that he would look to pick his brains. Shiv has so much international experience, and you can really rub off and learn a thing or two from a seasoned campaigner like Shiv.
We're talking about the tight driving hole that this hole is, and now we're back to the leader group here on the 12th hole. The 12th green seems like Chika. Oh no, that's not Chika's ball. I think that's Kalin Joshi's ball.
Chika seems to have overrun the green, or so it seems.
This is steel. And this is an idea. So, what happens when we join them? Something marvelous. Like cars that are lighter, more fuel efficient, yet safer. Thanks to high perform automotive steel, which lowers CO2 emission and makes this world a better place. Tomorrow is shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
So, seems to be in similar territory.
This is what I was talking about, the ball running through, and I think that rough behind the green just sort of catches a little bit as we see the highlights from earlier today at the Golmuri Golf Course. This is looks like the first hole in the group of Shameen Khan. The classic Sunday pin position here, top left on the first hole at the Golmuri Golf Club. Toughest pin position.
Lead can evaporate within a moment on this golf course.
Yeah, this 12th hole that he's currently on is going to be pivotal because if he can make a birdie here, he'll move 4 shots ahead and he'll have a
update, we're seeing that Jyoti Randhawa has reeled off quite a few birdies and he's moved to 14 under par for the tournament. So he seems to be in fine fettle, moving ever so closer to the leader. And he's really the embodiment of longevity and fitness. I think he's the poster boy for both these values. And a word on Jyoti Randhawa being 4 par at the age of 50. Chirag, it does provide inspiration to the likes of me and a lot of other players. I'm sure even you that when you think of a golf career, you often think that after 40 it's often downhill. But if you look at Jyoti Randhawa, it seems that that's where life starts.
Yeah, he's always such an adventurous guy. He likes to do all these adventurous things. Skydiving, you were mentioning yesterday. Works very hard on his fitness. Not as hard on his golf as he does on his fitness actually, and that's what keeps him going. He's got so many years under him that he doesn't really need to practice that much. He keeps it simple. He's not going to make changes now in his swing or in his game or the way he plays or the way he thinks, but keeps himself fit and always ready to compete. Doesn't play as much now, and that's understandable. He just went for the Champions Tour qualifying school, spent a month and a half, 2 months in the US, made it to the final stage. Unfortunately, not getting his card, but I think shall get a few starts. So probably looking, very excited for the second half of his career now.
Yes, and it takes a special kind of individual to have that will and that desire at the age of 50. We're not 20 years anymore that you sort of pick up your bag and move lock, stock, barrel to another country and play golf. It does become difficult as you age. Whether you agree or not, when the years pile on, the difficulties for the body, the injuries, and you it's not just the same. You don't have that same spring in your step and going to different places, staying in hotels and trying to navigate different time zones, different golf courses. It requires a lot of will. It's not the easiest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the the original flag bearers of Indian golf, Jeev, Jyoti, and Arjun. I mean, they've all three of them were actually playing the final stage of Champions Tour qualifying school this year, and all three of them played together. And it's amazing to see what an encouragement for all the youngsters and all of us, Shaurya, who are approaching that mark slowly but surely.
Yeah, I was just looking at Jyoti Randhawa, and they don't quite realize that. At other times, you're always looking at external motivation in sport. You're looking at somebody who can, who has those values that you think you want to emulate. And for somebody like me, obviously coming from a similar background as well, Jyoti Randhawa has been the gold standard as far as work ethic or even trying to ape his swing. In fact, I think we spent the better part of our careers trying to sort of be like Jyoti Randhawa.
Let's have a look at Karandeep Kochar now on the 13th hole. Yeah, no problem there for Karandeep. Again, such a good putter Karandeep is. Just gets to the heart of the hole almost every single time.
I think the two most important things in golf, Chirag, would definitely be driving the ball and putting. Everything else is sort of incidental, I feel. If you can sort of be a great driver and putter, I think everything else will follow.
So, I used to have the same sort of mindset, and until I read this book by a gentleman by the name of Mark Brody. He's the guy who came out with the strokes gained. The whole strokes gained thing is compiled by him. And according to him, iron play is the most important thing actually. It's proximity to the hole and how you hit your irons. And he's got all the stats to prove that driving and putting are not as important as iron play. So yeah, I mean, I think most of us are under that sort of misconception that iron play is not as important as driving and putting. I also always used to think that if you're a good putter and if you're a good driver of the ball, it's half the battle won. But obviously, according to the stats, you got to hit your irons well to be a good player. Shiv Kapoor on the 14th hole, long range birdie attempt. Currently at 16 under par, Shiv. He's in tight second. I think he's in third spot because Veer has birdied the 13th hole. So Shiv currently in third spot, one stroke behind Veer Lawat, and Chikarangappa has birdied the 12th hole. So he's taken a three-shot lead. He's going well. Shiv had that bad run yesterday, of a few holes starting the 13th, 14th, 15th. He bogeyed all of them, so would be looking to make bahas and if not, get a couple of birdies and just to make up for that loss. Great putt there by Varun Parekh, and you can see how much that means to him. Long range birdie attempt by Varun Parekh and middle of the hole. There you go. See that reaction. It is a big prize money event. Varun is looking to finish in that top 10 and maybe get that final stage exemption into the DP World Tour qualifying school. So all to play for here for Varun. Karandeep Kochars has made his way onto the 14th tee here. He's coming off two birdies on the 12th and 13th holes.
That's the ideal stretch if he has to return the heat on. You can see that he is trying to walk ever so faster. I think
This is steel, and this is an idea. So what happens when we join them? Something iconic. Like the Bandra Worli Sea Link, an engineering marvel that connects two parts of a thriving city, where Tata Steel's state-of-the-art LRPC strands have played a role, inserted in the concrete deck and anchored to support the vision of New India. Tomorrow is shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
playing really well, and you know what it means to these players to try and win this tournament, and they're not quite giving up yet. Everybody's hot on Chikarangappa's heels. They want to know what he's made of, and he's been so that question stellar fashion with that birdie on the previous hole, and that's the reason that you see him. He's all smiles.
A lot to play for in terms of prize money. Big check, and biggest tournament of the year, the biggest tournament on the PGTI ever. So these players are giving it everything, and why not?
Yes, this is this is money country. These are the last few holes, and
I think the more experienced players and who play a lot outside on the higher tours, guys like Chikka, guys like Veer, Shiv, Manu, well, he will be playing, Karandeep, Kalin, they probably don't think of these things. But for someone like Mohammad Azhar, first time in this huge event, um, I'm pretty sure it's going to be running through his head.
yeah, and I think he would want to keep that thought in the back of his head because it can also impede on play at times. You just
Yeah, it
want to keep
absolutely
doing
can.
what you are doing and try to do the best in each hole. And let's see where Chika has been able to hit that. And I think Chika means business.
Yeah, with shots like that, you can safely say that he's got one hand on the trophy. But funnier things have happened. 6 holes to go. Anything's possible. Maybe someone can make a string of birdies. Someone like Karandeep Kochar, who has been making a few birdies, um, and never know what's in store. Manu Gandas also right there. Actually, he's currently at 16 under par, so also in with a shot for sure. Let's have a look at Cullen Joshi's shot. Can he match up to Chikka's? Can he go better? Pretty good shot by Cullen. Let's not go by the shot that Chikka hit. I mean, that was a really, really good shot, and not a bad shot by Cullen either, giving himself an uphill opportunity for birdie.
He did see some big drives on this hole yesterday.
I think just playing into the wind today because the next hole, the 14th, you see a lot of players hitting long irons. So obviously that one's playing downwind, and this one's probably a little into the wind. And also one of the reasons why you can see players stopping the ball so quickly on this green.
Yes, that was a shot that Chika Rangappa hit. It does help. I think that is the favorable condition. Players would rather have this hole playing into the wind than the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather rather play the wind than the next one for sure.
Yeah, because it makes it more accessible. This flag, very difficult otherwise. And Chika is, he's doing all the right things at this point in time.
Yeah, obviously, the wind has switched because the 16th par 5, which we saw a number of birdies on yesterday, not playing as much under par today as it was yesterday. So that hole would also be playing into the wind if this hole is playing into the wind. Great shot there by Karandeep on the 14th hole.
Yeah, brilliant shot there. You see him having laid up there. Maybe he went with a rescue off the tee.
I didn't. The way that ball stopped didn't really seem like he was coming in with anything more than a 9 iron or maximum an 8 iron, and that's how this hole would play.
This is going to be a very difficult shot for Azhar, especially this angle and coming out of the rough. If he catches a jumper, it's going to be difficult to even stop it on the green from this angle.
Yeah, absolutely, Shaurya. He does have that ball flight, but considering this hole's playing a little downwind, this is not going to be easy.
Yeah, as predicted, that is bounded off and has gone well over the green. And I think maybe in times like this, you really need that experience. Maybe pitch it towards the front center and try to play towards the center, not be that aggressive and go for that flag.
Yeah, maybe even just play to keep it on the edge and give yourself a straightforward up and
Exactly,
down.
because it was certain that that ball is not going to stop on the green. As you see, he got one of those what as they are called knuckle balls with a lot of overspin.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about, Shaurya, just a minute ago with regards to having inexperience. At this stage, the tournament, probably Azhar is maybe forcing himself to make a few more birdies and get up the leaderboard and make that big check. Never know, what's going through his mind. It could work either way. You could actually try and either force it or maybe get too defensive.
Yeah, I think that shot just shown through his inexperience, so as to speak. I would think a player with a lot of mileage under his belt would definitely have a different approach as opposed to the one by other. Because there, if I remember, there's a small hazard over the green, a dry hazard as well, and with the velocity at which that ball pitched, he could find himself struggling for par.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That could be in a little bit of trouble. Kshitij call now. Long range putt. Not quite sure whether this is for birdie or for eagle on the 16th hole. Great effort there by Kshitij. Great speed. I remember reading a book on putting a long time ago, and the person who wrote that book always spoke about the fact that if you can get a long putt within 10% of the total distance. So, supposing this was 60 feet, if he got it within 6 feet of the hole on either side, should be happy with that putt. That's kind of the golden rule that they were talking about. Should have done better than that. Not to say that I actually follow that, but 2, 3 feet, 4 feet from a long range is actually a pretty good putt. You not always possible to hit it less than that. So good attempt there by Kshitij.
Yeah, there is something called a good two putt. You can't always try and make each and every putt. Ajitesh, after that chip shot was a little underwhelming, not up to his stellar standards.
Going with the thumb grip now, Ajitesh. Not shy of making a change with his putting technique and putters.
Yes, Ajitesh also sort of coming undone on this back nine. You're seeing he's 3 over on this back nine. The kind of finish that he would be hoping to have.
Yeah, another guy who had an opportunity to get that number one seed. He won this tournament or finished really high up, but seems like Manu Gandas is in complete control.
Yeah, he's proving quite difficult to keep up with. To be honest, I think if anyone can, it's just Yuvraj Sandhu with the kind of firepower that he has. But Yuvraj has faltered a little bit in these last two tournaments. Manu, on the other hand, has gone from strength to strength, and it's not easy to shoot these kind of rounds on a daily basis. You do have a few bad holes, and Yuvraj can take heart. He's just had a fantastic stellar season. I'm certain that he's going to go on to play the Asian Tour and the DP World Tour and maybe a lot of international tours with the pedigree that he has. And Manu Gandas, Veer Alawat, they're going to be a dominant force in the years to come.
Just saw the replay. Chikka Rangappa making another birdie on the hole. So now at 21 under par, in complete control of this championship, Shaurya.
Yeah, I think now it's safe to say that it's Chika's tournament to lose. It's going to be difficult for anybody to get to that number now. I mean, even to 19, 20 under par is going to be difficult. There are not many birdie opportunities, and in the form that Chika is in, I think everybody else is pretty much in his rear view mirror.
First look at the 15th hole.
What was your club of choice here off the tee, Chirag?
Well, it's a straightforward drive. I don't think anybody hits anything other than a drive on this hole.
It's quite a wide fairway, but I remember that if you do end up missing the fairway on either side, it was quite difficult. It is reminiscent a little bit of Delhi Golf Course. Maybe only the foliage is a little more dense than DGC. There, you still maybe manage to get a shot here. It's quite a different story altogether.
Yeah, it's really a wide fairway. I think it's almost 50, 60 yards wide. So, you got to hit a really, really bad tee shot to miss the fairway, and there's a fair amount of rough as well, around the fairway. So, I think 60 yards in total. I think at this level, at the Tour Championship, they probably wouldn't be missing.
What kind of club do you think the players are coming in for their second shot?
Nothing more than a sand wedge or a pitching wedge.
This is also a birdie hole after a good drive, so maybe there are opportunities for the chasing pack still. Very, really valiant effort.
Great part there by Karthik Sharma.
Also have a look at some of the other scores. Gaganjeet Bhullar 2 under, 10 under for the tournament. Playing well. SSP Chaurasia having a good week, especially after that final round in his host tournament that didn't quite go his way. But look at him, he's back on song. 3 under par, 12 under for the tournament. So great showing by SSP.
Yeah, he's fond of this golf course. He's won here a few times. The regular sort of format of event. He's won it a few times over here, so he's actually very fond of this golf course.
Yeah, it's a lot of scores. We're seeing a lot of bunching up. We're seeing that 9 shots adrift the leader. It takes you to 20th position. So it's but this is eventually it's going to turn into a sort of a putting competition because it's a smaller format golf course.
Shiv Kapoor also making a long range birdie putt and getting into that tied for second spot with that putt at 17 under par alongside Veer Lawat and Kalin Joshi, who have both birdied the 13th hole.
Great effort by Shiv there. One thing that Shiv has always exhibited whenever he plays, when he's out playing on the PGTI, he does play well. He always contends and is a force to be reckoned with when he's back here on the domestic tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a consistent ball striker, like we spoke about earlier. Beautiful flight on his irons, not much movement. Great putter, great short game. So he's always bound to compete here.
As we speak, the 51st position is at level par. So you're seeing the standard of golf is very high, scintillating scores all around. So you have 50 players who are under par at this point in time. So really good play by the entire field. And as we scroll up, we're seeing M Dharma with a fantastic round in today of 6 under par, showcasing his fantastic ability.
Just have a look at that leaderboard, Shaurya. Just fantastic to see so many people bunched up. Chikka, though, in complete control, like we had spoken earlier, 4 shots ahead now of Veer and Shiv.
Yes, indeed. He does. That seems like a comfortable lead, though. 4 shots with nearly 5 holes to play, and seeing the form that he is, then it almost seems like a foregone conclusion at this point in time now. Now we have a look at Veer Lawat. Veer on the par 5 16th. This is a long par 5, and here is where power really does come in handy. Shamim Khan on our screens, not much of a power player, but he's always got around very well in his career and one of the best players from inside 150 yards, and it might not be an overestimate to say that he might be one of the best putters on tour ever. His putting prowess is second to none, and that has enabled him the distinction to be the highest earner on tour ever. He's accumulated the most amount of prize money. That shows you that he's making a lot of cuts. He's finishing in the top 10, top 5 a lot and winning a lot of tournaments. And when he's not winning, he's definitely in and around. So it shows you that it's not just about winning each tournament, it's also about putting in a solid performance. Seems that he would be here in 3 on this par 5. Now this is where he also separates himself. This is not the easiest of shots. You can see the ball is sitting down. There is a tuft of grass which is a little ahead of that ball. And this would require him to really judge it to perfection. Fantastic effort there by Shamim. Just rolling it by. Makes it look really easy, but believe you me, it's not as easy as it looks. A shot requires a lot of practice and perfect execution. We have a look at Weir. This putt is rather important for him. If he can make it, he'd move to 18 under par. If he has to have any hope of trying to challenge Chikarangappa for the title, then this putt is essential that it goes in. You can see Chikarangappa trying to get the perfect. My apologies, Veer Lawat trying to get the perfect line on that as we move back to hole number 16, further behind in the here at the par 5, Kapil Kumar. My apologies, that's hole number 14. Kapil Kumar with that approach, miscued approach shot towards the right hand side. And in other updates, we're still waiting for Muhammad Azhar's score on hole number 14. Pretty similar spot to Muhammad Azhar is Chikarangappa. Let's see what he does from here.
Azhar actually did make a 6.
Yeah, this is where experience would come to the fore, I reckon. We can't quite spot the ball yet. Not quite visible. We should soon find out.
Cullen in a perfect place to attack this flag. Right part of this fairway. Does prefer a little bit of a draw, so this would suit him. Cullen currently in second position alongside Veer Lawat and Shiv Kapoor at 17 under par. So an opportunity here for Cullen to get closer to Chika. Kapil Kumar also, as we saw earlier, missing the screen on the right side, just running away. Tell you what, with the rough around all these greens, this golf course is definitely playing a little easier than what it usually plays.
Yes, I think it affords the players the luxury to be a little more aggressive on their approach shots. Otherwise, I remember we used to throttle back a lot more, and you couldn't quite get too fancy with these flag sticks. But I think it's shaped up to be the ideal season-ending tournament. You couldn't have asked for a better finish the way this tournament has sort of gone on, and it's been possible only thanks to fantastic efforts by Tata Steel and their active participation in the sport. They're as far as Indian corporates are concerned in promoting sports all over the country, and taking the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Khelo Abhiyan ahead. And golf is at the forefront of that. It's an Olympic sport, and this partnership has provided a fillip. This tournament is in the 4th year running, and it's grown by leaps and bounds. We're seeing a stupendous prize fund of 3 crore, and when you have this big stage, you see the best champions shine through.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. This is an amazing event for everyone playing professional golf here on the Professional Golf Tour of India. A lot to play for, and especially with this alliance of the DP World Tour and PGA Tour coming in with the BGTI, it just becomes so interesting and so much more to play for now. We have a look at Karandeep Kocher's approach shot on the 15th hole.
Yeah, that really does open up a great avenue. We saw how Shubhankar was able to sort of catapult himself to the global stage. We do remember how he played in those WGC championships. That was a fantastic week where in the end he came up a little short, but that was just the best showing on a long time. And I'm certain that these players will have similar opportunities. Chikarangappa, Manu Gandas, all these players are really going to fly the Indian flag high and also have the ability to compete on a global stage.
Chika just looking a bit concerned about his lie there. He has missed the screen just short and left. Not the easiest of bunker shots coming up here for Chika.
But he saw that that was a prudent approach, so he missed his shot as opposed to going over the green. It's still possible to make par from here, but over the green you end up going in that trench. He had a difficult lie.
Yeah, he really tried to dig that one out of there in terms of getting that longish swing, a little speed, so that he could just pop it up and try and stop it close to the hole. So Chika in danger of dropping a shot. So um, all is not over yet, Shaurya.
So this could see him move back to 20 under par. We're not sure if Veer has been able to make birdie on hole number 16. We'll get a confirmation soon enough, but if he has, then it's game on.
Also, Cullen has an opportunity to make a birdie here on this 14th hole, about 20-25 feet. So this could be a two-shot swing here.
Everybody towards the top end of the leaderboard is under par, apart from Mohammad Azhar, who finds himself at even par. And here we have a look at Mohammad Azhar, just about coming short of his birdie attempt. After that rather unfortunate double bogey on hole number 14. And low down, we're seeing the leaderboard is peppered with red numbers. Best of those is Veer Alawat, who's currently 6 under par for his round. And tied for the best round is also Badal Hussain, who's 6 under for the day and 6 under for the tournament. Let's see if Cullen can add a little more drama to this tournament by holding this one, and he does. What a fantastic effort by Cullen.
Great putt by Cullen. This is definitely not over, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there was a little bit light in that door by Chikarangappa, keeping that door ajar, and Cullen has been able to walk through that, and he's making a contest of it. Look at that. That's what they say, seize the moment, and that he has done. And especially if you have your co-player putting on the heat, that does make a difference because it's in the same group. It's pretty much in front of you, so it becomes a man-to-man battle, a mano a mano. They could be like two pugilists going at each other. It could well turn out to be that kind of a battle between the two of them.
Great attempt there by Karandeep, just missing on the high side. That ball just not turning as much as he thought it would. Great attempt though.
I think we will give this tournament an A for entertainment. It's keeping the mystique alive. You don't quite know who's going to win this tournament. There's a pack of pursuers. It's like it's like a pack of wolves trying to hunt down the line at this point in time. So Chikarangappa is pretty much open season for all these players.
Yeah, and the good thing is that there's so many birdies on both available on both these nines, especially on Golmuri. It just a lot of excitement till the very end.
It's not gonna be easy. If you want to win the big prize, then you have to show up on the big stage. It's not going to be handed to you. You'll have to earn it, and Chikarangappa is being pushed to the brink by the entire field, none more so than Cullen Joshi.
Let's see if Manu can make another one of those long-range birdie putts.
That was a fantastic putt. Just about trailing off in the end. Manu finds himself at 16 under par. That would be 4 shots behind Chikarangappa. looked good to go the entire duration. Just about in the latter, maybe the last foot and a half, it just about veered off to the right.
Let's have a look at Karandeep now. He's cleaning up for his par. They are playing the forward tee on the 16th hole, so that makes this hole accessible in two quite easily, actually.
Yeah, I think that would give almost all the players an opportunity to reach it into. What kind of yardage are we looking at from the front tee? I remember from the back tee it plays to almost about 600 yards from the front tee. Maybe a driver rescue even for somebody like me. So if memory serves me right, then a lot of these players might have irons, right?
Yeah, a lot of these players like Veer and Chadda and maybe even Chikka, they probably get long irons into this hole. And it's the good thing is that from this tee, the tee shot is quite easy. You know, it's a straightforward tee shot. From the back tee, you got to hit it over these trees and then cut it as well. So you can get into some sort of trouble, you know, on the tee shot. So this is a really nice tee and gives the players an opportunity to make a four. And we've seen some eagles too on this hole.
Yeah, and the good thing is that they can try and draw it into that fairway, and it's a really wide fairway. It's almost like an airstrip.
Having a look at Chikka's par attempt. Just coming up short. It was on line, just coming up short. So Chikka Rangappa is indeed going to drop a shot on this 15th hole. My apologies, on this 14th hole. Makes things interesting now.
Just it is two-shot swing. So now there are two shots that he has clear of these other players. Here we have a look at Warren Parekh.
Just missing the 16th hole green on the left side. This is not the easiest of chips left for Varun.
Yeah, this is perfect Shamim Khan territory. You know, that's where you sort of gingerly swing it and just about he would sort of roll it up. Let's see what is the approach that is being employed by Varun.
Shaurya, let's not forget that Shiv is also currently at 17 under and now 3 behind Chikka after that drop shot. So he could actually make birdie or even eagle if he's hit it 2 on the green and get into that fray. Varun is...
That's what I'm saying, that these shots can often be the difference between a great round and a good round. And it's so very difficult to judge them, especially coming out from the thick. And I think some of these shots, I mean, try all you may, they require experience. Over the years, you build a lot of scar tissue and you know how not to do it. They say it's not always about knowing how to do a certain thing. It's also about how not to do it. And that's what they tell us in either in an MBA or business studies or anything. How not to do it is equally important because you eliminate a lot of the wrong approaches and maybe as he goes on. And mind you, this is not the easiest shot either he has facing himself.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not that much of an easier shot now that he was faced with earlier. So he's got his work cut out to now save par on not a very difficult hole.
Yeah, that can happen. So as Chirag stated, iron play is important. And I forget the book was by Mark. I forget the second name. I was going
Mark Brody.
This is Steel, and this is an idea. What happens when we join them? Something magnificent. Like the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower. An iconic landmark where Tata Steel's Comfloor 80 composite floor decking has played a part, making it a triumph of human inspiration. Tomorrow shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
Fruitnik Electro Plus. Rehydrate. Feel alive.
काम घर में कर रहे हों या बाहर या किसी बीमारी से उबर रहे हों, आप बिना जाने डिहाइड्रेट हो सकते हैं। रोज जरूरत है फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट। इसका अनोखा R3 फॉर्मूला इलेक्ट्रोलाइट रिस्टोर करे, ग्लाइकोजन रिप्लेनिश करे और मसल्स का तनाव कम करे तुरंत एनर्जी के साथ।
फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट।
birdie attempt, I presume, on the 16th. Could well be an eagle
Could
attempt as
well be an
well.
eagle attempt as well, but whatever it is, that's a very disappointing, underwhelming putt by Shiv Kapoor.
Yeah, he's not happy about it either.
Yeah, that's quite unlike him, really. Leaked, well shot. Would have expected him to hold that.
Just seemed to decelerate on that putt a little bit. Wasn't committed, maybe unsure of the line, and just couldn't hit the putt the way he wanted to.
We see the galleries, and that's always a welcome return. And we've seen the numbers actually grow after, the fading of the pandemic. And talking about the pandemic, there seems to be a certain few ripples. We hope that, fingers crossed, we don't have to quite live that time again. And because golf has really come back, and it could affect a lot of things. But as we say, always try and practice social distancing, wear your mask, and what we can do is that we can just hope and be prepared. But that's the last thing that is there on the golfers' minds. They're hoping to hold this putt, especially Karthik here.
Yeah, great putt there by Karthik. That will definitely help him a little bit come into that top 10. We saw earlier in the day he made that unforced error on the 10th hole, short range birdie putt, ended up three putting, and this could uh, this could really be a short gain now.
Yeah, what I was noticing about his putting technique is the putter almost goes vertically up. The putter head doesn't quite go flat along the ground. It sort of goes up a little bit and heads down on it. It's very unique the way it is. Maybe that's why it looks like on shorter putts. Could be something that he might want to have a look at it. It seemed like a very aggressive putt that he took this time, and rather confident.
Let's have a look at before we speak about Karthik's putting stroke, and good putt there by Varun.
Yes.
That looked a lot smoother than Karthik. Just going back to Karthik's what the observation that Shaurya made, it is a little bit like that, but I don't remember it being that way earlier. He had a very smooth sort of stroke earlier, and just seems to have that little jerk. In that stroke, maybe something to do with the greens or the way he's setting up, or maybe the putter has too much loft and he's trying to de-loft it a little bit.
I think that, and that's the reason that maybe he's not been that great from within 4 or 5 feet, or if he has, in fact, missed a few, that could be down that because that stroke doesn't give you much room for error, especially on shorter putts.
It's always hard to judge the pace, when you sort of have that little sort of hit, just a word hit, and that doesn't really give the right and correct roll to the ball, and that's probably the reason why he's getting his speed off and missing these short putts.
Maybe that's something that he's trying to adapt to the green speeds here. We won't quite know. We know that a lot of players carry two or three different putters with different lofts. Is that something that you used to do, or
No, I never did that. I always carried. If I wasn't comfortable with the way I was putting, I would carry more than one putter sometimes, just for the feel. things to see. There's so much culture, so much heritage. So I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of guys just come and base themselves out here for a year and have a look at what India has to offer and also play at the tour.
Yeah, that as a as they say, the travel year in Europe, and they normally do that after their college, and that's something that on a sporting front you see a lot of golfers would like to do that. Maybe we had a lot of players from Australia, so on and so forth. I think Anthony Choate was one of them.
bogey that hole. And we'll see it in the replay, in the highlights, just coming up now shortly. This is the bunker shot of Chikka. Talked about this earlier. He really tried to muscle that one out. Maybe a bad lie, or maybe he was just trying to get that little extra speed on the club head to try and stop it a little faster and get that little extra height. Just hitting it a bit too hard. We are back live now. We can see Shiv Kapoor on the 8th hole. My apologies, the 17th hole at the Beldy Golf Course.
As we get an update of the scores, we'll appraise you shortly of the same.
Chikka and Cullen have both parred the 15th hole, so the lead still remains at 2.
Shiv Kapoor, who we saw a little while ago, did not make his birdie on 16, so he remains at 17 under par. So the closest pursuer is still Cullen Joshi, and 3 holes to go, 2 shots. It's not quite done and dusted what it seemed at that point in time, but I think 16th will be pivotal, especially given Chikkarangapa's prodigious length of the tee. He should be able to make birdie here and pretty much seal the deal. Fantastic showing by Angad Chima. I think since the time I got his age wrong, that spurred him on, and he shot a brilliant 6 under par today. Angad, valiant effort by you, and you shall reap the rewards of that fantastic finish. Third place is definitely worth writing home about.
Yeah, sure. I think you definitely got him going.
Yeah, I think so. He called me up, and in fact, Auntie was on the phone as well. They said, "You made my son a lot older than what he is." There you go. We always have to get everything right. But yes, we afforded the usual mistake which can spur those players on. So kudos to you, Angad. Fantastic showing, 6 under par. That would really help him move up on the rankings this year. That's also another point, Chirag. This tournament, if you compare it with the average tournament, it's almost 7 times the prize fund. Maybe actually more, 7.5, 7 times. So if you can just show up to this tournament and perform well, you can make up for a lot of lost ground.
Absolutely. That's why in the weeks leading up to this tournament, we were always talking about how important it is to make that top 60. There's a lot to play for in terms of prize money and just moving up the order of merit. I mean, big things can happen with this just 1 week. This is Manu Gandas on the 16th hole. Makes another one of those long-range putts. Not quite sure whether that was for eagle or for birdie, but definitely seems like he's going to gain one more shot here. Manu Gandas was at 16 under. He is going to move to 17 under now after the 16th hole.
Manu Gandas now finds himself 3 shots behind.
Do you think he could pull off another miracle here, Shaurya?
I mean, at the least, I think he'll have to make 2 birdies.
Mohammad Azhar just missing out on that short-range birdie putt.
Yeah, Mohammad Azhar coming undone, and I know how much this means to him. Would do well to make maybe a birdie on the final 2 holes and somehow sneak back into that top 10. He's currently in a tie for 11th.
Kshitij Kaul also finished 4 under par for the day. Also did double bogey the 14th hole like Azhar did. Karandeep Kochar now. Mr. Chari's been with this group for a while now, so maybe they are actually a little out of position.
Yeah, otherwise Mr. Chari is not really a golf aficionado to follow these players and watch them play. He's definitely, if he's around, he means business. He's here to enforce the long arm of the law. Look at that. That putt was nothing over 1.5 feet.
Yeah, Karandeep just not getting the pace right on that part.
And could also be a factor of the referee being there, and referee is doing his job. You have to keep everybody on the clock, and that can get you out of your routine sometimes. Unfortunate for Karandeep there.
An update of the scores. Shamim Khan and Veer Lawat have both finished with a birdie on the last hole, on the 18th hole, and they both moved to 20 under par. So they are currently in second position with Kalin Joshi. Kalin will need to make birdie if he wants to finish solo second or give Chikka that another sort of little bit of a hiccup, because Chikka is only 2 shots ahead now. So Chikka's got his work cut out as well here.
Yeah, brilliant finish by Shamim and Veer, both of them reaching that 18 under par mark. 2 shots is still the cushion that Chikkarangappa maintains over the rest of the field.
In fact, Akshay Sharma, the third member of that group, also made a birdie on the 18th hole. So 3 under.
This is Steel, and this is an idea. What happens when we join them? Something fantastic. Like Pravesh doors that never age, that save our forests, or customizable Artiphone wardrobes that match your personality and are redefining modern homes. Tomorrow is shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
The leader group would be on hole number 16 as we speak. Back to the live action here at hole number 17, the par 3. Manu Gandas at 17 under par currently. He has that very violent action after he finishes the swing, even when he's going with a mid or short iron. He does that sort of wraparound finish, which you normally associate with the driver. Normally, you see players going with a 5 or 6 iron. It's sort of an abbreviated finish, but it seems like he sort of goes all out with each club.
Yeah, him and Kalin Joshi as well. So, and like we see, they're both playing well. So maybe that's what we require, Shaurya. That's what we're missing.
Yeah, I think so. That's what you need to go hell for leather, no matter what the club is. I see if Karandeep plans to use that approach. He's currently sitting at 16 under par, so for all intents and purposes, he's not going to win the tournament. But that doesn't mean that they're going to take it easy. Each position on the top 10 is worth a lot. It's a lot of money that these players are playing for, and it's very important that they keep their focus. Even the 10th place position could be somewhere in the 6th place could be in the vicinity of 7 or 8 lakhs. So a lot of money to be played for. This is almost equivalent to an entire season's earning for a lot of the good players as well.
Just waiting to get an update on the scores of what's happened on the 16th hole, the leader group.
And while we follow this group, let's also go through some of the other scores today. And for those of you who are joining us, we'd like to tell you we're live at the Tata Steel Tour Championship 2022 being played at the Golmuri and Beldi Golf Courses, Jamshedpur. While we have a look at the leader group waltzing down on hole number 16. The par 5 here.
The last real opportunity, that presents itself. We've seen a few birdies on the 18th hole, but the 16th is pretty much, the last hole that you could maybe get away with one bad shot and still make a birdie.
Yes, especially given that that fairway is rather generous. You almost have a 70-80 yard wide fairway, and no real difficulty on the second shot either. Flat topography of this hole, so I would think it's a straightforward birdie hole. Here at hole number 18, Karthik is really ripped a long drive. I think going to the downhill and his flat ball flight couldn't have been a better hole for him.
Yeah, I don't really think Varun has hit a driver on this hole. Doesn't seem like it.
He would have probably gone with the rescue or some sort of a layup club.
Yeah, Varun just losing a little bit of ground with bogeys on the 16th and 17th hole, so he's maybe just a little uncomfortable with something that's happening in his swing and decided to take a shorter club off the tee.
Look for a lot of action on this ball when it hits the green. Yeah, coming to a sudden halt. It's a brilliant shot, all of 14 feet right at the flagstick. This is conventionally this was considered a difficult flag on hole number 18. We're seeing that the ball striking ability is so good that they're even able to go at this flag. I remember back in the day, to a back left flag, you could sometimes have maybe even a 9-iron for a medium hitter. But it seems that the length that these players are hitting it, that is not quite the case right now.
I still have a 9-iron, if not longer, sure, yeah.
I think like Karthik is definitely going with a sand, if not a lob wedge. That looks like a lot of loft on that. Unique characteristics. You see the cars passing by on this golf course on hole number 18. Karthik not really utilizing that short club.
Yeah, he just missed it over the green. Shouldn't be a problem, but I'm pretty sure where he was, he would have been looking to hit it a lot closer and give himself an opportunity to make one final birdie.
Now we have Shiv Kapoor here at hole number 18. That's a brilliant shot by Shiv, 10 feet under the flagstick. A very good birdie opportunity for him to move to 18 under par and join that trio for a third position. Shiv has really done well this week, consistent on all days. You're seeing there are a lot of players who've actually had all 4 rounds under par this week, and that's a rare feat. Normally you see only a few players being able to do that. Chika Rangappa with his birdie chip, not the best effort, so maybe there's going to be a twist in the tail. He's left himself about 15 feet to make birdie, and Kalin Joshi seems to be here just over the green in 2. He looks like Kalin would definitely make his birdie from there, and maybe Chika might not be able to convert that, and if that happens, we only have a 1 shot between the two of them and 2 holes to go.
Absolutely, and anything can happen on the 8th hole. Very easy to drop a shot there on that 8th hole, and we've seen that this 9th hole has yielded a few birdies today. So this could get really interesting in the last 2 holes.
Yes, a tournament like this always has a twist in the tail. This is a very important shot for Cullen. A little too aggressive.
Yeah, he's run it by a little bit. Was that his third shot, Shaurya?
I think it was his third shot because I didn't quite see him hit any other shot, and it was Chika's third shot as well. So just goes to show you that they did hit some fantastic approach shots on this hole.
Yeah, bit strange that Cullen had the pin out on that one. I would say if you're trying to hole it, might as well keep the pin in the hole.
Yeah, maybe that is something that suited his eye more from there because he was certain that speed should not really be a factor. That the pin will might only pose as an adversary if it sort of hits it in the center, and that comes back to our point that some players prefer the pin in and others not. So
Strange that you talk about this because I haven't seen even one player putting with the flag in this week.
yeah, and also has a lot to do with the material of the flag as well. That differs from week to week, and certain sort of fiberglass flags and so on and so forth. Because there's no one rule that you need a certain type of flag, so that could be a factor as well, right?
Correct, absolutely.
And also the way the flags lean. Not all flags really flush in the center. Sometimes they're leaning to the front or left. So you don't. The last thing you want is to hit a good putt and hit the flag and come out. So.
I've also seen players keeping the flag in more on faster greens than on slightly slower greens. So maybe these greens are not as lightning quick. We've seen a few putts left short on the downhill as well. So that's one of the reasons why they're not keeping the flags in.
Yeah, that's a valid point because they don't expect to run it by that much. So the flag doesn't really aid in stopping the ball per se because the speed is not going to be that aggressive, I think. On faster greens, sometimes you get the wrong speed and it can really roll by. And there, if you hit the flag, it can sort of help to soften the blow.
We've seen Kartik Sharma running a few by.
Yes. So we have a look at hole number 17.
That was Muhammad Azhar's attempt for birdie on this 17th hole.
Azhar is the only player who's over par in the top 20. He's 1 over for the day. But not too bad. I think you can't be too harsh on him either. He's done fantastically well for the first 3 days, secured his card, and he's quite happy and just unfortunate to have that double bogey. But all in all, has been a decent day if he can finish up in style. Oh, very nice effort by Kartik.
Yeah, great putt there. We see that attempt again by Kartik. He thought it would dive into the hole right in the end. Not to be. Varun Parekh also with an opportunity to make birdie and finish even par for the day.
Yeah, Varun Parekh would have learned a thing or two from that putt.
There was Manu again.
Oh, not to be.
Missing out. And I think that that putt was for a par.
Yeah, I think that's a drop shot would move him to 16 under par and a tie for 8th. Oh, just about missing it on the other side.
Yeah, good attempt there by Varun. Unfortunately, missing on the lower side. He would have loved to finish off with a birdie, considering he made bogeys on the 16th and 17th hole. But a good week for Varun Parekh, nevertheless.
Yeah, good finish for Varun Parekh. Not the final day that he would have hoped for. He got off to a good start with the bogey, then an eagle. But after that has been relatively sedate. Only a solitary birdie on hole number 14. And a bogey on 16, so around a level par for Varun will be good enough for a tie of 17th and 12 under overall. The unique things are players doff their hat and pay their respects to each other, and that's what makes golf, they say, a gentleman's sport.
Come on, Shiv. Well done. Great finish there by Shiv Kapoor.
Fantastic putt by Shiv. That would move him to 18 under par. And that's good enough for a tie of second place. We have a quartet of players at 18 under par, namely Shamim, Veer, Khalin, and Shiv.
Yeah, and you can see, even for a player like Shiv, how much this putt means. And he gave that little fist pump. So obviously a lot to play for in terms of prize money. He wants to get that second place under his belt.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you are a seasoned touring professional. But this, the rankings matter. This, the sizable check also matters as well. They do. It's their livelihood, right? And he's traveled all the way from Dubai. You want to have a good outing. You want to feel good. You want to play well, and that's why I see golfers fighting for it. They don't want to give up, and they want to do the best that they can on a certain day. As you were talking about that, you remember I spoke about Jeev Milkha Singh, who was 3 under on the front nine, and look at the fantastic back nine he's had. He went par on the first, birdies second, third, fourth, and birdied his last hole. So he's showing you there's a lot of fight in that body. He's 7 under par today. That's the lowest round. So it just tells you that Jeev Milkha Singh is still able to roll back the years. So that would get him in a tie for 58th. He's making up for lost time. The first 3 days were not good, but a word of mention for our legend Jeev Milkha Singh, 7 under par, the lowest round of the day, tying Abhinav Lohan's 7 under par. A word or two about him, and obviously we have Shamim and Veer also at 7 under par. But what a fantastic effort by Jeev Milkha Singh.
Absolutely, he's always one of those guys who plays a lot of golf, a lot of tournaments every year. Still, he ends up playing close to 25 to 30 weeks a year at his age, and that's commendable. I remember one year he played close to 40 weeks in the year, and that body must have gone through a lot. But just an update for our viewers, Khalin Joshi has birdied the 16th hole, and Chikka has made par. So Khalin is now at 19 under, and Chikka 20 under. So just one shot separates these two guys from Bangalore.
Oh, that is really interesting. Really shaping up to be quite the battle here, and it all started on that hole number 14. Let's see what happens here. I think this shot is really pivotal.
And look at the number of players who are there, or the number of spectators who are there to support these guys, and just watch this action from these two players going head to head. I also saw in the background a few players, so you can see how interesting this battle is.
Yeah, it's electric. It's heating up here in Jamshedpur. And a warm hello from us here from our studios. We are enjoying the action, and so are you, I hope. And Chirag, a word about this tournament thus far and the brilliant birdie by Khalin on hole number 16.
Yeah, just when I thought that Chikka had one hand on the trophy, Khalin has gone and made a barrage of birdies. In fact, 4 in a span of 5 holes, and Chikka has dropped a shot and not made a birdie on the 16th hole. So this is really heating up. Like I said, one shot, anything can happen on the 17th hole. It's a tough par 3. We saw just a little while ago Khalin hitting a shot, and he wasn't close to the pin. So very possible that even Khalin could drop a shot on this hole. But I think the pressure would definitely be on Chikka to hold on. Like you said earlier, it's his tournament to lose. But Khalin has made a charge in the last 5 holes. Interesting shot comes Chikka here on the 17th hole.
Yeah, you really need to be switched on. It's now they're going blow for blow. It's around 14 in a heavyweight championship. It's who can outlast the other player at this point in time. Chikka would really need to hit a good shot. It seems like Khalin has miscued his shot, and Chikka can make up for those mistakes on the previous holes. Oh, that scoots off.
That is scooted off behind the green. That's not going to be the shot coming up for Chikka.
That's a very difficult shot coming up for Chikka. Not much green to work with, and really nestled down. Could that be a case of adrenaline? Because I'm pretty certain he wouldn't have wanted to pitch that there. I would think the prudent play, given the fact that he likes to hit a draw, is maybe club shorter, center, pitch it towards the center, and draw it towards about 15, 17 feet. He pitched it right at the flag.
Yeah, that's generally the play on that hole. We don't really see anybody going for that pin because it's impossible to stop it.
We have a look at Kapil as well. Seems to be almost the forgotten man in this leader group. That 4 over par round today. Also trundling off over the back right of the green. Couple forgettable day apart from that solitary eagle hole number 9. Definitely think he needs to look into it because he's been in this position multiple times, and unfortunately it's always been the same result, that on the final day that he just hurtles down the leaderboard. He was third, second, I think. My apologies, and then he's now finds himself in a tie for 17. So that is a very expensive final day, Chirag.
Yes, absolutely.
You could be looking at initially maybe a runners of check of close to 30 lakh, if I'm not wrong, and then maybe just 2 or 3, 4, 5 lakh. Now it's a big loss in terms of financial metrics, but oh yeah, that's not what a player thinks of. But the final day is where he's always found wanting. What can he work on? Given the fact that this is almost a repetitive theme when he gets himself in good position, but last day he just falters.
I think he needs to learn how to keep it simple and not. Probably he's trying too much, on the final day, trying to make a few birdies early on. And we noticed this in Calcutta as well last week. And again this week, it's the start of his round where he falters. So maybe just try and, broaden things out a little bit. Maybe just concentrate on hitting fairways, hitting greens, just getting the momentum going before he can start going for it.
Yeah, so couple, if you do happen to go over a round again, I think that's something that you can work on. Obviously, draw the positives from all the weeks that you have got yourself in contention. That proves that you definitely do have the game. It's just about fine tuning.
So just going back to that shot of Chikka, like you rightly said, you want to play this that 17th hole just right of the pin, short and right, and everything actually feeds towards that back left. So I'm surprised with the choice of shot.
Yeah, I think it could be a little case of adrenaline as well. Yeah, you get into that position, and that's how you sort of get that second wind, so as to speak. That because he's a smart player, that might be it. Maybe just a too good a shot sometimes. It's going to be really difficult for MD Azhar. Not been a brilliant day, and not done himself any favors by landing up in the left-hand rough to this flag, which is on the left side, and not much green to work with. It'd be interesting to see the approach that he takes. I would think maybe just try and make a four, sort of cut your losses.
Heart of the green. Needs heart of the green here.
If he tries to go at the flag, he could find himself over the green.
And I think that's the mistake he made on that 14th hole. He tried to go for that flag and just hit it over the green, possibly in the penalty area behind.
So he's learned from that. He's played it towards the center right of the green, and now he'll have maybe about 45 feet for his birdie. But at least that he's learned his lesson. He's played the smartest shot this time.
Yeah, good smart shot. Pin high. Shouldn't be a problem for him to make 2 putts from there. So good shot by Azhar.
Manu Gandas currently in a tie for 5th.
We are just getting confirmation that Manu did make bogey on that 17th hole, so he has dropped to 7th place now. He's 2 under for his day at 16 under par total. Manu Gandas with his second shot on the last hole. Yeah, good save shot by him, just right of the flag. I know he'll be a little disappointed with that, but Manu, take a bow. You are going to be crowned the #1 player in India for the year 2022. That's an amazing achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, there you are, having a look at to be crowned #1 player.
Yeah, the emperor of Indian golf this year is going to be none other than Manu Gandas. He's earned it. 6 victories and a fantastic showing here as well. Maybe just came up short right towards the end, but a valiant effort nevertheless. He's played very amazing. He's reeled off one round after another. He's 16 under par, and couldn't have asked for more, to be honest.
You know what the hardest thing is, though, Shaurya, that when you come off a win or when you come off a good performance, to back it up with another good performance, not because of the capability, but because of the fact that it drains you out mentally so much. It takes so much out of you. And Manu, I mean, he's just gone week after week in contention, if not winning.
Yes, you do see these players have these sort of breakout years. What's going to be really important is next year. I think because when that pause happens and you have that little bit of a reset for the next year, many times, and we saw that unfortunately with Udyan as well when he had that brilliant year where he won 4 times, and the next year was very underwhelming. And that does happen to a lot of players, and this is something that I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain complacency doesn't set in, but uh, you know this can be a purple patch. Depends. Sometimes players are having that brilliant run, but it's going to be interesting to see how he follows up with this breakthrough year.
So just talking out of a little bit of experience here, if I was in Manu's place, I would not even focus too much on playing here next year. He's going to have an exemption on the DP World Tour, and possibly he might go to the Asian Tour qualifying school. I think he's got a 4-year exemption after today. He'll have a 4-year exemption on the PGTI, so he should concentrate the next couple of years on really taking his game to the next level and playing outside, getting all that experience, and coming and playing a few events here, but mostly outside.
Yeah, you're right about that, and it's
Is Tata Steel. And this is an idea. So, what happens when you join them? Something remarkable, like the material of the future. Fiber reinforced polymers that goes beyond steel, that is high on strength and corrosion resistance, and is cost effective. A material that will be used in foot over bridges, the insides of railway compartments, and electric vehicles, as also an infrastructure for smart cities. Tomorrow is shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
Starting next year, he's won 6 times already this year. He's finished number one. His expectations are going to be sky high. He'd want to come out here and probably have the similar sort of season again. If he says if he can win 6 times this year, why couldn't he win 7 times next year, right? So all of a sudden, the first half, if he doesn't play well or has a couple of not top tens or whatever, he might start feeling a little bit. His expectations are so high that he might start doubting himself. So I would really think he would go out and use that opportunity and play on the DP World Tour and on the Asian Tour and really take his game to the next level.
he does have all the tools and implements to make that happen. We definitely wish him all the best, and we hope that he can replicate that kind of performance on the international arena. He's been a real joy to watch this entire year, all his victories, and even his close shaves where he's been able to sort of pursue the leaders. They've been an enthralling experience thus far. He and Yuvraj Singh Sandhu really pushed each other to the brink, and that's what good sportsmen do. They sort of egg each other on. They've been like the Messi and Ronaldo of the PGTI this year.
Yeah, just his mindset has been so impressive, and I have no doubt in my head that he'll play well wherever he goes to play next year. Azhar just coming up a bit short there with his birdie opportunity. Karandeep Kocher now. We have a look at Mohammad Azhar once again, but coming up, Karandeep Kocher with his birdie opportunity. He would love to finish with one birdie and get out of that tied for 7th spot and actually move up to 6th, or even 6th is where he can move. So he would definitely want to get out of that tie for 7th spot and move up to 6th spot with this putt. So he's going to give this everything. Like we spoke earlier, every position, every shot counts so much, especially at the scale of that this event is at.
Seems like a fairly friendly putt, this one uphill and a little right to left. Came as short.
Coming up short. We've seen that by Karandeep a few times actually today in this back nine. We saw on the 12th hole that eagle putt that he left short. We also saw it on the 7th hole. And now again, sorry, my apologies, on the 16th hole, and now again on the last hole. So he's going to be a little disappointed. He's given himself a lot of chances, just not quite living up to his reputation of being a fantastic putter today. Manu Gandas just taking his birdie opportunity on this last hole.
Manu Gandas, always a figure of poise and grace. Should have learned a thing or two from that putt by Karandeep. Pretty certain that
Very similar line.
He's already number one. Let's see if he can close that in style and finish in a tie for 6th. Currently, he's in a tie for 7th position. No, not to be, but that's all right. Brilliant effort. So there you have it. Our number one player, champion golfer of the year all throughout the season, and that would be good enough for a first place position for Manu Gandas on the order of merit.
Yeah, we just see Karandeep Kochar also congratulating him for the fantastic year that he's had. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, here he is, Manu Gandas, the newest order of merit champion of the PGTI, the year 2022. This is his year.
Yeah, we soon also have an update in terms of his final figure of the prize money that he would have accumulated. Chirag, any ideas what he was at 80 lakh, and this week he's finished in a tie for 7th tie, so maybe a 8th place position. So that might be maybe somewhere he might reach about 85 lakh or some, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Tough finish for Azhar making bogey here. Great effort, great first 3 days for him, and unfortunately, not being able to finish off. But an update for our viewers: Chikka Rangappa has made par on the 17th hole, and Cullen Joshi has dropped a shot. He's back to 18 under. So second place now tied by 4 people: Shamim Khan, Veera Lawat, Shiv Kapoor, and Cullen Joshi, all tied for second spot at 18 under par. And I think Chikka would be breathing a sigh of relief, after the 17th hole. I think unless he has any major issues on the last hole, I think this tournament is
I think he
pretty
should
much
be
wrapped up.
I think he should be able to coast to a comfortable victory now after that 17th hole. That was a good par by him, especially given the fact that he was well over the green, and a very difficult lie, if you remember. It was nestled down, so he must have really executed that chip shot well. So brilliant save by him, and Cullen, I think, would be ruining that bogey, especially after turning on the heat on the leader. It quite let him off the hook, especially on the 17th hole, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. But, just sort of going back to what I said earlier, we have seen a few birdies on this last hole. We saw Shiv Kapoor also making a birdie on the 18th hole. So never know if Cullen can actually make a birdie and Chikka makes a mistake. It'll be interesting to see. We've seen a lot of 2-shot leads finish off quickly on the last hole. Let's see if there's a playoff in store for us. Just having a look at that leaderboard there. Chikka, confirmation that he's at 20 under par, followed by Cullen, Veer, Shamim, and Shiv at 18 under par.
This is Steel, and this is an idea. So what happens when we join them? Something marvelous, like cars that are lighter, more fuel efficient, yet safer. Thanks to high-perform automotive steel, which lowers CO2 emission and makes this world a better place. Tomorrow is shaped by imagination and steel.
Tata Steel. We also make tomorrow.
फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, रिहाइड्रेट, फील अलाइव।
काम घर में कर रहे हों या बाहर या किसी बीमारी से उबर रहे हों, आप बिना जाने डिहाइड्रेट हो सकते हैं। रोज जरूरत है फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट। इसका अनोखा R3 फॉर्मूला इलेक्ट्रोलाइट रिस्टोर करे, ग्लाइकोजन रिप्लेनिश करे और मसल्स का तनाव कम करे तुरंत एनर्जी के साथ।
फ्रूटनिक इलेक्ट्रो प्लस रिहाइड्रेट।
Absolutely, it's way down there. Shouldn't be any problem. He should be coming in with nothing more than a sandwich, I feel.
Yeah, that's the new power game. These are power plays. This tournament is really put this brilliant city on the golfing map, so as to speak. And this week has been historic in more than one way. You had Manu Gandas become the #1 player. You had that partnership between the DP World Tour and PGTI. You've broken the record of the highest prize money that has been earned on a season. So records galore.
For Indian golf, we can see the background, a couple of ex-pros, couple of current pros, all here. These players and watch the golf. Big shout out to all of them who have come out in large numbers to support the tournament.
It's also really interesting to watch this. Players do understand talent when they see it, and they also enjoying the cliffhanger that is this final day.
Talking about Dave's, Kapil Kumar has also hit a big ride there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I remember Kapil from back in the day wasn't really a long hitter. I think he's been able to adapt to the modern game really well, and that's why he puts himself in the position that he does. It's no mean feat to be so many under par after 3 days and 4 days. So it's he's doing a lot of things right.
We have the final scores here. Jyoti Randhawa has moved into the top 10, finishing in 10th spot at 14 under par. So a good round by Jyoti Randhawa, 4 under par today.
Cullen now would have a straightforward shot. At least the angle to the green is fine. I'm not too sure if that tree will impede upon his intended line of play. If it does, then he'll have to get a little more adventurous. You can see that the caddy is giving him very specific instructions. I did mention with his right hand, he did motion some sort of a draw movement. I don't know what Cullen would be trying. Maybe trying to go through a couple of branches there. Mind you, Cullen is in lone second position, so this is this shot is rather important. If he were to drop a shot, he could see himself in a tie for second, and theoretically then share the 4th place prize fund. So it's rather important here for Cullen, right?
He is tied second right now, Shaurya. He's at 18 under par. He did drop the shot on the 17th hole, so he's in tied second spot currently.
My apologies. I didn't quite get the updated score. Yes, he's at 18, so that makes it even all the more important. Then, rather than being risk averse, I think he must try and make a birdie and get out of that log jam at 18 under par.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big check, on the line. If he drops a shot here, he's going to be tied with Angad Chima, who's currently in 6th position. So he'll drop to 5th position, actually, if he drops a shot here. That's huge.
It's going to be rather interesting here. What happens?
I'm sure he's trying to find a way to make birdie, though.
Yes, of course. He's thinking about winning the tournament. If he can somehow get this close, but I don't know what kind of shot he's trying. Maybe a low draw or a high draw, it seems. Let's see if that ball is going to hook around. That's going to be a very difficult par save from there now.
Yeah, that's a bit of an error, I feel.
Yeah, I thought that was too aggressive.
Like I said, he's probably trying to make birdie and win this tournament, not trying to play for second spot. He's just gone through that tree pretty well, but got a lot of heat on that ball, and that's just I'm not quite sure how far over the green that's gone.
Well, that's what they say. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And he's an aggressive player, so the same thing that's going to help him make birdies. Sometimes that can happen as well. So that's what I like about these players. They don't really play for position; they play to win. And you do that often enough, you will end up winning. pretty similar approach that is employed by Rashid. Now, I have a feeling this is going to be really close in there.
Yeah, no real danger now. Shaurya, he can just go for it comfortably, I feel.
Yeah, it's rather conservative. 25 feet, short and right of the flag. Safe two putt.
Bit too conservative, I feel, on that one.
Yeah, might have miscued it, to be honest. I think it's not quite like him to really shy away from a flag stick, especially from that short distance. He would have been trying to hit some sort of a low draw, but didn't quite turn over, I think.
Possibly just wanted to get that bunker out of play, which is in line of the pin and short of it. And with this shorter club coming in, he could have very easily got plugged had he gotten into that bunker. So possibly just wanted to get that out of play. And I think he's with a 2-shot lead. I think even if he 3-putts, he's going to win. Unless, of course, Khalin can produce some magic and hold that shot from wherever he is.
Yeah, Khalin does have the ability for pulling off the unexpected, but let's see what happens. But even if that were to happen, it seems like me just trying to inject some drama where it seems this all done and dusted. But you never know. Golf is a funny game, and maybe Khalin, couple can do this right with the fantastic. Let's draw that in. He's missing. He's missed that to the right as well. So not quite sure why the players have gone that far right of the flagstick. Seemed like both were coming in with fairly short clubs.
Yeah, probably just don't. They just don't want to make an error on the last hole. This flag is pretty close from the left side, and only about 10 paces short of that flag lies that bunker that we were talking about. So probably just playing it a little safe out there on the right hand side. Smart play, I think.
So you have a look here at hole number 18. This is what it has all boiled down to. You're live here with us at the Tata Steel Tour Championship 2022. All the groups have finished except for the leader group. The number one player of the year has also been decided. That is Manu Gandhas, having won 6 tournaments this year and finishing in for a tie of 7th position in the league. And being crowned number one. And this tournament has also resulted in the partnership of the DP World Tour with the Professional Golf Tour of India. And currently leading this tournament is Chikka Rangappa. Kalin Joshi, who we saw, as he put himself in a spot of bother. I think it'll be a brilliant shot just to get this on the green from here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he'll do well to make bogey.
Yeah, this could really hurt his prospects as far as finishing in a tie for second. And there's a big log jam there at 18 under par. Then you have Angad Chima at 17 under par. So he needs to be a little careful with this one. And not the easiest shot, so he's sort of hitting it off that barren lie. And as I predicted, this is a rather difficult shot. It's all coming undone here. It's the train is coming off the rails. A bogey on 17th and 18th. He's possibly staring down a double bogey. You don't want to sort of add to the difficulties already. He needs to ensure that he can make bogey here.
Yeah, you can just see from his body language. He's fuming right now, and he's a little hot on the collar. Like I said, after looking at where his second shot landed up, he's going to do well to make bogey. And he's got a really tough up and down coming up to make bogey. He's in danger of dropping 2 shots here, Shaurya.
Yeah, with one of the things, as you said, the greens have grown this rough around the green, so it does make it easier in one aspect that the ball sort of stays there, but hitting out of it is not the easiest. Requires very intricate touch and need to be perfect here. That seems to have come out a little hot. Yeah, and Yeah, this seems like a Frankenstein nightmare for Cullen. It's a bogey and then possibly a double, and at one point he's just one shot off the lead. So shows you that things can change in the blink of an eye in professional golf.
Yeah, that got off to that amazing sort of run of birdies, 4 birdies in 5 holes, and just dropping all those shots here. So this is not nice to see.
I would see him move from solo second that he was at 19, and he would if he does not make this putt, he'll end for the tournament in a tie for seventh amongst four players, and so getting the prize fund for between the eighth and the ninth position. So that is a massive difference. You're looking at runner-up check, which might have been about 30 lakh, and the eighth or ninth position, which will be closer to maybe 4 lakh or something. So you're talking about the last two holes costing a player 25 lakh. That's good enough for cardiac arrest, my friend. I think I wouldn't be quite able to leave the scene. But obviously, these players are made of sterner stuff, and they play these kind of tournaments week in, week out. They understand that if you have to win the raffle, then you have to buy a ticket, and if you don't roll the dice, get the perfect number. So that's the risk that you have to take if you have to win the tournament. You have to be ready for the implications, and Chika Rangappa has done it in style almost.
Commentator's curse there. I think he's going to mark this ball and finish off in style.
And it has rolled back.
Giving him another attempt.
Yes, a mulligan on the final hole. What a brilliant putt by Chika. So it seems he'd win by two tournaments. Two shots. My apologies. Getting ahead of myself there. But a brilliant putt. Really well judged. And I think Cullen did him a couple of favors as well. Made his last hole easy. Now we hope Cullen can make this putt. And before Cullen putts, we'll have couple here.
Yeah, just hoping Couple makes this putt as well. He hasn't had the best of final days. This would be a real bonus for him and a feel-good factor. Stands very close to the ball. Bit cramped sometimes, I feel.
Yeah, looks a little cramped, but he's a connoisseur of unconventional techniques. Maybe that flows down into the putting game. As long as it's effective, it doesn't quite matter how it looks, as they say. It's a scorecard, not a postcard. You gotta look pretty, and it definitely works for couples. But you're right, he looks rather cramped for room. Look at that shoulder, the way it's sort of moving away.
Possibly looks like the putt is a little long for him. Cullen Joshi.
It seems your stomach is signaling that it's time for another meal. It's been a long day for the commentators as well, and we're excited by the quality of golf that we've seen. I hope Cullen can make this putt. You really do feel for him. He was playing so well, and often the aggressive approach. It feels like he's burnt his candle at both ends, unfortunately, and I hope this one goes in. Not to be the golfing gods have not been too kind to Cullen Joshi in these last two holes.
Though that's a expensive stretch of 2 holes for
Yes.
Cullen, like you had mentioned earlier. He's going to be fuming.
I think it's the most expensive stretch of 2 holes in Indian golfing history, to be honest. This is, I really do feel for him. You really do feel for this player right now. I feel bad for Cullen Joshi. He did go for the victory, and I'm sure that this is going to help him next year. And you only build character from these kind of events happening to you.
Mere formality now for our champion Chika Rangappa, winning the Tata Steel Tour Championship 2022 by 2 shots. And Chika is going to be really, really happy with his performance, set up totally with that brilliant 10 under par yesterday. And Chika is the champion.
Fantastic victory by Chika Rangappa. He's taking away that handsome prize purse of 45 lakh and a brilliant victory, beating some of the biggest names in Indian golf. We've had it all this week, right, Chirag? We've seen some stellar youngsters and the likes of G. Milka Singh and Jyoti Randhawa already turning the clock back, and valiant effort by Kalin Joshi coming short in the end. And Chikka Rangappa was really able to stave off the challengers. And there we have it, the winner, Chikka Rangappa, at 20 under par. And second place finished by Shamim Khan, Veer Rava, Shiv Kapoor, and uh, yeah, only the three of them, and Angad Chima finishing at fifth position. It's been a fantastic week of golf. You couldn't have thought of a better ending to the season and a better tournament, Chirag. We, we'll tell our viewers to hold on for the prize ceremony that is to come. Any parting thoughts, Chirag?
Yeah, what a fantastic last couple of days. It's been for us. We've presented all the action to you, and it's been exciting for us as well and we hope it's been exciting for you to watch. From Shaurya Singh and me, Chirag Kumar, here at the studio, we would like to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, happy golfing, and we shall see you all next year.
And we'd recommend that you stay tuned for the prize ceremony that is to follow, and we'll see you in the new season next year. Until then, take care of yourself.
I guess the greens would take a little time, maybe another couple of months, maybe a rain or something for it to settle down. Slightly hard, but rolling beautifully. I think Jamshedpur is really blessed. I think all you golfers would really enjoy playing on this golf course for the next 20 years without doing anything else to it. So thank God, at least it's paid off. So otherwise, I would have been on the neck. There are a lot of people who actually, individuals who I'd like to thank. Gurpreet, thank you very much for the F&B. I'd like to thank Copcom for the kind of work with Amor and Runa for all their help with regard to the branding, with press conference and everything. Thank you very much. And every other individual who's been associated with this event, who's worked behind the scenes. There are a lot of people, I know that, but thank you very much, the course manager and his team of people for giving us a golf course to play on in such good conditions. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Oh, before I sign off, my friend has become VP of the IGU, so congratulations to Farzan. And enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd now like to request Mr. Sanjeev Paul to kindly share his thoughts.
Thank you, Nikhil. Mr. TV Narendran, our CEO and Managing Director and Chief Guest for today's prize distribution. Mrs. Narendran, Uttam, CEO or CEO of the PGTI, look at me. Sundar, Chanakya, all the golfers who have come to play here in Jamshedpur through the PGTI, my fellow golfers and golfing enthusiasts, members from the press. All good things have to come to an end, and sadly, this 4-day festival that we have every year and which gets all of you here with this kind of enthusiasm has to end here today. Must thank all the golfers for the scintillating performance that they put up on display. I was really worried as to what the scores would be, especially because this course had come up new, and I was told that a new green is typically very hard. And thank God that we had scores of around 20. Chika, thank you so much for finishing at that score. There you are. In fact, when you didn't hold on the 16th green and you're muttering under your breath, I could hear you, man. You said, kitna hard course hai yaar. I realized that even on the 17th, you didn't end up on the green, you bounced off. So I was praying that you actually win, and I'm so glad that you have. Cullen, you gave tremendous competition. One small error, and we would have had a playoff. Well played, guys. Thank you so much for this amazing game of golf that you have shown us in the last 4 days. We will look forward to you coming here again. But before I go off, I would be failing in my duty if I don't thank our CEO and Managing Director, Mr. Narendran, for being the patron of golf that he has always been. I keep saying that he doesn't play golf. He supports us. He supports this crowd. And I hope someday he picks up this wonderful game as well. Thank you to everybody else who has helped, Gurpreet, Tamir, Runa, to the golf, the green maintenance guys, both at Beldi as well as Golmuri. The Golmuri crowd is not here, but I must say the way Golmuri has played and given the kinds of scores to these golfers, it has made up for the hardness of Beldi. So thank you a little bit more to the Golmuri guys who have taken the brunt of the entire golfing pressure in the last year. Well played, well done, guys. So look forward to these golfers coming in again next year. I hope all of you have a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'd now like to request Mr. TV Narendran to kindly address the gathering.
Thanks. 3 speeches in a row without a respite. So thanks, Sanjeev, Uttam. Thanks to all the golfers and all of you who've come to watch the golf. I almost missed it. I was traveling. I just came in time for the last hole. But as always, it's wonderful that we have such a great crowd here, and I understand we've had great golf over the last few days. You know, normally after the last hole and when we are here and I'm trying to have my beer is when Uttam whispers in my ear about sponsorship. Can we do something more? So I'm glad that this time he's already said that this is the richest, biggest, etc. So I hope for next few years we won't be having this conversation. Yeah? So thanks Uttam, because he's always been there pushing us, encouraging us to do more. But I'm glad that you know, we could do whatever we could in our own way. You know, for us, sports has always been important, and I think over the last few weeks itself, we've seen everything from some world-class chess in Kolkata to, of course, we've had the TSK 25 after 3 years, and now the golf, and we'll have the Steel City next month. So, and in between we had the World Cup and everything else to watch. So the only disappointment so far this season in sports, and Chanakya knows that, is JFC. Of course, I'm hoping that there's another Argentina in the making, and despite all the losses, we'll somewhere start winning. So anyway, but having said that, you know, it's wonderful to be out here, wonderful weather. Wish you all a Merry Christmas and a great 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before we begin with the prize presentation, a big shout out to Tata Steel for rolling out the red carpet for all the players and the PGTI officials. I now request Mr. Sanjeev Paul to kindly do the honors by presenting the checks to the 3 joint runners-up, Veer Alawat, Shamim Khan and Shiv Kapoor, with totals of 18 under 270. Veer and Shamim shot scores of 65, while Shiv Kapoor shot a 67 today. They take away prize money checks worth rupees 20,80,000 each. Congratulations to the 3 joint runners-up. I'd now request Mr. TV Narendran to kindly present the giant check and the trophy to the winner, Chikarangappa S, with scores of 66, 71, 62 and 69, a total of 20 under 268. He takes away a prize money check of rupees 45 lakh, the biggest ever prize money check on the PGTI, his 15th win on the PGTI and 16th professional title. The winner also gets a bag courtesy Athletic Drive. It's now time for the customary winner's speech. Chika.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know what to say. Tata has been the biggest support for PGTI. Without saying, I mean, they've literally are nurturing Indian golf today. So thank you so much for that, sir. I think I remember I was having a chat with my friend, I think probably with SSP Dada. I was asking what was the first tournament prize money. I believe it started with 10 lakh with PGAI. 5 lakh, sorry. And now today we are playing for 3 CR. So you can imagine what Tata means to us and what they're doing for Indian golf. Thank you so much for that, sir. It's been hard. Today is my mom's 6 months. She passed away. It's been really hard. Just keeping myself together. Literally, I was in the verge of leaving the game, not really enjoying myself, because she was everything to me. But every time I had that push, it was only because of her, because she always wanted me to play golf and do something for my country. And I'm going to keep doing that. Yes, and this one is for my mom. I know she's up there. She's looking down at me and giving all the praise. I think probably before leaving, she also gave another gift to me, Molly. She's been through thick and thin. She's been part of my life and taking care of each and everything. Thank you so much for that, Boo Boo. And of course, my caddy, Ramdani, being back on the back for me. Thank you, Dani. It's been great. I know I say a lot of things, but I don't mean it. But please take it. And especially, thank you so much for the crowd who comes here and immensely and cheer out the entire day, and they support, and it just really boosts all of us to really bring out a better quality golf shots. So thank you so much for coming out and being there. And yeah, thank you guys.
Congratulations to the champion Chikarangappa once again. He came close to winning on 2 previous occasions here in Jamshedpur before finally crossing the line today. Moving on, we have 2 announcements to make. There were 2 outstanding achievements this week, and I'd request Mr. TV Narendran to kindly give away the checks to these 2 gentlemen. First, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Shiv Kapoor for his albatross on the 9th hole in round 1. He receives a check of rupees 1 lakh from Tata Steel. We also had a hole-in-one on the first hole during round 2 by Viraj Madappa. He receives a check of rupees 1 lakh from Tata Steel and will also receive rupees 20,000 from PGTI. Finally, it's time to announce the winner of this season's Tata Steel PGTI Order of Merit, and that is Manu Gandas with record earnings of rupees 88,50,688. Manu had a dream season as he won a record 6 tournaments and had a total of 13 top 10 finishes. A big hand for the other top performers of this season too. Yuvraj Singh Sandhu had 5 wins this season, and Ajitesh Sandhu also had an outstanding year. Finally, we'd like to thank our title partner Tata Steel, Jamshedpur Golf, members of the club, all players and officials, and the corporate communications team of Tata Steel, and our tour partners Rolex, Tata Steel, American Express, Amrutanjan, Fruitnik Electro Plus, Golf Plus Monthly, and Athletic Drive. That's it, and look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.